You are on Department 5's Family Law docket. If you're on Zoom, please keep your cameras off and your devices muted till your case is called. Once your case is called, please turn on your camera and unmute yourself. Introduce yourself to the court and anyone that's in your party. I will go through the strikes and sit overs first, then readinesses. Then I will mostly go in order unless I have long matters that I usually try to put towards the end. And if you don't hear your case being called, please reach out so we can see if you're in the right courtroom. I did have one interpreter matter. Number 11, I believe it was. Do we have an interpreter? Oh. We do. Okay, I'll just go through them. Number 3 on the docket is the Alexander matter. That's a strike. I don't know what that was set over to, but it's 10-6. Thank you. Set over to 10-6. 14-302-0446. I believe that's our only strike on our docket today. We have one designated readiness, although I don't believe that it is a readiness. That's number 12 on the docket, the in Ray Ivan Moore, cause number 227-0019-706. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
So we had a trial date that came and went, correct? We don't currently have a trial date, or do we?
We do have a trial date. It's in about 2 weeks. It's on the 18th, 19th, and the afternoon of the 20th. It was reset from May.
All right. So are the parties ready to go to trial then? Is this?
Your Honor, this is Eric Johnson on behalf of the father. We are not ready. We had a situation come up just recently where our medical expert had a medical issue of his own come up and was hospitalized and is not going to be available to testify at the within the time frame. I have reached out and located a replacement medical expert, but that doctor is not going to be able to be ready in time. So I am requesting a 2-month continuance, and one or the other of the 2 doctors that we now have retained will be available on that time frame.
Are there any objections by the state or any of the other parties?
I've spoken with counsel and they have no objection.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, I don't have a trial date for you. I'll have you reach out to Ms. Gibson Smith and get a trial date and a readiness date, and I'll see you back here. I'm not, super familiar with these cases, but when I was trying to look at the case file to figure out what was going on, it did appear that there was visitations overnights happening. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Accurate.
That doesn't change anything for us?
It does not at this time, but we are in discussion. So if anything does change, we'll definitely update the court.
Awesome. All right, I'll see you guys some other time. Have a good day.
So should we go back to court administration?
You're going to just go to Jennifer Gibson Smith, who's not currently here. She'll be back from vacation and get new trial dates and readiness dates.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yep, have a great
I'll
weekend.
send that email.
Okay, wait.
Okay, number 1 on the docket is Shover and Price, cause number 12-3014-938. Are the parties present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, this is, Dad, you filed a motion to modify ex parte. Should have been a contempt motion at that time, which I think you realized, so then you filed a contempt motion. Mom states that Lexi, your daughter, does not want to go with you on the visits, so that's why she doesn't have the child go on the visits. She indicates that, I've actually confused this with another case I can see now, but she did give us several text messages that were downloaded that were significant. They were problematic, I will admit, but it does not give Mom an excuse to not have you have your visits. So, just please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Jason Daniel Price,
Spell your last name, please, sir.
P-R-I-C-E.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings today?
I do.
Great. So do you agree with me that those text messages are problematic?
Absolutely.
Okay, so so you're gonna behave better?
I am.
Okay. So my problem here is though, this is the case where mom decided to let her family have the child during Father's Day. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
In 2021, he didn't exercise his right, and it has never been a big deal. He decided to go down to Vegas and, okay.
That took a minute.
Well, I think we can pretty easily get sidetracked, but by the time
Yeah.
Father's Day came around, Mr. Price hadn't seen his daughter for several months. And so the child wanted to go with her grandparents on this trip. Mom said yes.
So my understanding, she didn't see father because mother wasn't letting her see father, or she didn't want to see father. Is that accurate?
Well, the parenting plan says that father is to come to the house to pick up the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Father never came to the house to pick up the daughter. Eventually, he started complaining about it, and it became an issue where the daughter didn't want to go.
Right.
Most recently, I asked Mr. Price what he wanted to do, what he wanted my client to do more than she had been doing.
Right.
As was explained to him, he said, I just want her to stay out of it. So she left the house. His wife came to the house to pick up the daughter, and she wouldn't come out of the house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're in a situation where the child is not going to the visits.
Right. And how old is Lexi again?
11 or 12.
Yeah. So one of my biggest issues I have with your client's behavior is that when this protection order happened and things went really bad, and of course she says that things went bad prior to the protection order, well, prior to her knowing about the protection order, is that one of the messages that were in her text message was Lexi saying, you did this to me, you got me kicked out of my house, and I want to know where she would get that kind of information. And so the protection order was a valid protection order. The stuff that was happening in the house was completely inappropriate. And the fact that mom would tell Lexi that she was homeless now because he filed a protection order to protect his daughter does not seem very appropriate, does it?
Well, I don't know where she got that information. I think it's reasonably foreseeable that she would be involved and know what's going on if they have to move out of the house. But
It seems weird to me that the mom wouldn't say, yeah, we're moving out because my boyfriend did some really naughty things, instead
Well,
of blaming it
they're-
on dad.
they did move out. And
Yeah, I
then
know,
there
but
was a period where they were moving back, and
Yeah.
that's when he filed. So that happened, the incident happened in January.
Uh-huh.
I believe they moved back in March, and then they had to
January
move out again.
31st was the incident. They moved back in the middle of February.
I believe him, so you can shake your head all you want. But, so what do you want, so what do we wanna do today? Because, I mean, obviously you're in contempt, but all I wanna do is get things back on track with you guys. You're really messed up, you're both really messed up. You
Agreed.
both have been acting completely inappropriate, and Lexi is gonna be, she's the one that faces the consequences of your guys' poor behavior. So how are we gonna fix this?
I haven't had visitation since March 24th.
So you're gonna have a hard time having visitation now because
I
you,
understand.
yeah, so are you willing to go to counseling with your daughter?
I am.
Okay, because was that suggested by mom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And he said, so I think that's the first route, right? We start some counseling. Is Lexi even gonna go to counseling, or is she?
Do you want me to
She
say
will
it?
go to counseling.
Okay. So did you have someone in mind, sir?
I didn't, because she had told me that she was gonna sign, Lexi was interested in therapy, and when I said, well, I'm gonna show this therapist the police report, the message,
Hey, look it, listen to me.
she's not signed her up.
So you need to sign her up,
Okay?
because you should choose the counselor, because you're the one that's gonna have to do this counseling.
Okay.
Also, you need to, like, if you're gonna show the counselor the police reports, then why are you even telling mom? That's not, I mean, if you think that's an important thing for the counselor to know, then you should just take that stuff to the counselor. It's like you're threatening mom, or you're always shoving this in her face that she's got this person that she's with. So, work on your relationship with your daughter, keep mom out of it, and yeah, I'm sure the police reports would be important for the counselor, but Lexi doesn't need to know that you're giving the police reports to the counselor either. Like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot all over the place.
I understand.
Yeah. All right, so moving forward, Dad's gonna find a counselor,
I will.
and you're gonna, and how much time do you need?
30 days.
Okay, and so in the next 30 days, Dad's gonna find a counselor and get you guys signed up. Who's the kid's insurance up? Who's she?
Hers.
Okay, so Mom will give you the insurance information, you guys get signed up. I don't know how that's gonna work, actually, we'll have to figure it out.
Is this family counseling you're on?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah. So then,
I'm sure we can figure it out.
I'm sure you can too. Hopefully you can figure it out in a nice, peaceful manner, not in the way that you usually handle things.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, so why don't you work specifically with her attorney on this portion of it?
That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
request.
and not talk to Mom at all, and then get this all set up, and once you guys start counseling and you're ready to come in here and talk about either putting the parenting plan back in place or a realistic parenting plan, you guys can cite this matter back in.
Okay.
Okay?
Details on the contempt, Your Honor?
Yeah. I'm finding contempt and $100 civil fee for your client.
What about all the child support that I paid during those 6 months? Is that reimbursable?
No.
Okay. I mean, I haven't had
Your
my-
child,
I'm
you
not
don't, your
access
child,
to-
you paying child support has nothing to do with you having visits with your child. Your child still needs support to be supported by the parent, so.
I understand. I'm just saying in March.
It's just stinky. It's stinky. It feels really bad when you pay child support and don't get to see your child. I understand,
does.
yeah, but it's just the law.
In March, I was in a cheer competition with them both on March 18th, and they were perfectly fine, there was no issues.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Then March 24th, he was served.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, she called me saying, I don't wanna come over because I'm afraid they're gonna take me and I'm gonna be back to my mommy.
Yeah, that's too bad. We just rehash this. We don't need to rehash it anymore. What we need to start thinking about is how you're gonna move forward.
Okay.
Yeah, and your daughter sounds like a pretty cool kid, but
She is.
she's gonna get really irritated after a while. I mean, it's a really bad age. I've got one of them. So, all right, so that's the contempt. It can be purged by Mom just making sure that she makes it to counseling.
Understood, thank you, Your Honor.
And then as far as visitations from today moving forward, and
You should just let it loose. I mean, I'm not, if you wanna try to force visits on your child right now, you can, but it's not gonna be good benefit, it's not gonna benefit you or your child. Get them to counseling and then start doing fun stuff. Never mention her mom to her, and never mention her mom's boyfriend to her. She doesn't need to talk about that stuff. All right, talk to you later. All right, number 2 on the docket is the Barker matter. Cause number 13-3022343. Are the parties present?
I'm here representing Patricia Barker.
Good morning.
I'll be requesting a set over.
I'm a mess up here. I can barely hear you, Mr. Trosper, and remember I'm deaf, so. All right.
I'm requesting a set over.
Yeah, that's better. Dad wants to modify, this is, Dad wants to modify. He didn't really indicate necessarily what was adequate cause, but he tried to make a similar schedule and was denied by Ellis last year. His work schedule's changed and he wants every week, which was the same thing he asked for last time, except for now it's just different days. Is that accurate?
Actually, no, Your Honor. I was trying to turn in the paperwork because I have not seen my daughter in 2 months. She's been kept from me.
Uh-oh.
So-
Well, this isn't something that's before the court today, I don't think.
I was supposed to have a contempt of court filed as well with it because she has been denying me my visitations
Hold on a
for
second.
the past couple months.
Brittany, are you here?
I think this might be the wrong one.
Oh,
Barker?
shoot. Sorry, Barker,
Patricia?
sorry. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That's my whole thing. That's the wrong sheet. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Trosper is represented, Patricia, you are represented by yourself, and Ms. Fields on this case. So this petition to modify, you filed it on July 13th, filed a motion to modify because mother is denying visitation, should have filed a contempt then was filed, mom says kid does not want to, is that wrong? Give me the facts, Mr. Trosper.
Yes, so he's filed 3 motions for contempt. He filed a petition, but no motion for adequate cause or motion for temporary family law orders. We need a continuance because my client hasn't been served. His proofs of service show that the documents were emailed, but it's actually not her email address, and there's no order allowing service via email. I mean, obviously, I got the documents and I'll accept service, but not for the purposes of having
All
a
right.
hearing today. My client has filed, I believe already, or will today, her own petition to modify and response to everything.
Okay, so sir, you actually did file a motion for show cause, right, on the 13th. And so that motion is a motion, I remember now, sorry, I messed your case up, so I probably really confused you. Well, I was confusing myself. So that motion, was filed, and then a contempt motions have to be personally served. Can't do email service, that's just a thing. Okay, the other issue here, is also Mr. Trosper got on the case like 2 days ago, if I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he'd want more time, even though he's still here, knowing, I mean, there wasn't appropriate service, but he's asking for a set over on this, and then will you be, acknowledging service then if we set this over to another time, Mr. Trosper?
yes.
Okay, and so, give me a second, because I want to make sure I identify the things that you're most concerned about. So, Mr. Trosper, there has not been visitation, so are you gonna, in the meantime, is there going to be visitation?
I'm going to try to, work between the parties for that. My client's declaration will explain why there hasn't been visitation, and I'm requesting the, law enforcement records to try to corroborate what happened and what exactly caused that suspension of visitation.
Okay, so you do understand, I mean, I know you know me well, that I completely don't agree with self-help, and so that's what's happening right now. I mean, as we speak, that's what's happening. Your client decided that she doesn't think that he's done something wrong or whatever, and so she's decided she's just gonna withhold the child, and she is the one withholding the child. It's not as if the child won't go, from everything that I've read. So what are we gonna do between now and the time that we come back here?
Well, I am going to advise her of the court's position on this, and, I mean, I think at the time, she had, valid reasons to be concerned about the child's safety, because my understanding is some sort of domestic violence incident happened at father's house, committed by father, and the victim thereof, who is someone very well known to the child and the family, came to my client and told them about this. Yeah, I'll advise my client of the court's position and see if we can get visitation started.
So, how much time do you need, Mr. Jasper, till we get back here?
Well, I guess that sort of depends on when, we can get Mr. served. Everything on my client's end, except for those law enforcement records, which I haven't received yet, are ready to go.
Okay,
And
and is hers a contempt or hers a modification?
She's filing a petition for modification.
Okay, are you willing to accept email service?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
so you have his email address?
I believe so. Oh, no,
Go ahead and give it to me right now.
maybe,
Hold on, he's gonna put it on the record.
It's my name, Brandon, Brandon, Barker, Barker, 86 @yahoo.com.
Yahoo. All right.
Got
So,
it.
about a month?
yeah, that's plenty of time. I mean,
Well, actually, I need more time than that, I'm sorry, because I have nothing open, so. Let me see what I got available.
oh yeah, is October 6th your next available docket?
How many are on there currently? Okay, we'll put it on the 13th of October. Does that work for you, Mr. Trosper?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do this on the 13th of October. In the meantime, I sure hope there's some visits, because it's gonna look real bad if there's not. Okay, all right, you guys have a great weekend.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
These are, you want me to keep these?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
all right,
Thank you very much.
yep. Number 4 on the docket is the Wilson matter. Cause number 15-3022-714.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning,
Good
Your Honor.
morning. How are you?
Director Petrie for Brianna Wilson.
Good morning. Just give me a second. Okay.
Ms. Ward for the state, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, are you, did you make this, is this your motion?
No, Your Honor.
This is my motion, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Petrie, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is our motion filed July 20th, 2023, where we're asking for a modification of child support. The last time child support was modified, or the final order for child support was entered in 2016, so it has been more than 2 years. Mr. is only 40% disabled, which means that he's 60% employable. He chooses not to work and is voluntarily unemployed, so we are asking the court to impute him, and we've provided child support worksheets, 3 different types, 3 different
Yeah, I saw that.
scenarios, so that the court can basically choose which one it wants to adopt. I am asking that the court consider the fact that he has no housing expense. He has been unemployed for almost 3 years, and he just went on a bunch of vacations, camping trips, and a trip to Hawaii. So
With his parents.
and this thing about dropping the restraining order, which he cannot ask for without filing a motion, which has already been denied. There is nothing stopping him from getting a job. He is choosing not to get a job. He is employable, he can work, and he has chosen not to and just live on his disability. The fact is he talks in his paperwork about getting an armed security job at $19 an hour when he could go to Petco and work as a cashier for $22 an hour. So his argument that he can't be an armed guard, well, maybe he shouldn't have guns or weapons on him. Maybe he shouldn't be in that industry, considering the fact that he has a criminal record with a DUI. We have this case, and he has admitted mental health issues. So we are asking that the court adopt our worksheets and set child support.
So, I love when you guys, all the attorneys come in and they give one argument and then they have the same scenario and they give the other argument the next time they come. But, yeah, he is on disability. I wouldn't necessarily impute him at the salary that you think he can make because of what he used to make. And you're saying because he doesn't have a household expense because he lives with his parents. I don't know if he actually probably helps provide something to them.
He does not live with his parents.
Let me finish, please. He did make a point in his paperwork that mom's expenses are shared expenses because she's remarried. So that also changes if we're going to talk about expenses, and that's not something that's been approached at all. Ms. Ward, did you have a position here?
Your Honor, based on the information that I had, the state was looking at using what Mother indicated her monthly income was $41.66, which seems to be supported by the financial documentation that was provided. In terms of imputing father, the state was basically looking at the VA award letter plus his last known income, which did occur after he got his VA award letter. So we basically just went back to Employment Security Department, added up his last 4 quarters of earnings, divided it by 12, which gave a gross monthly of $3,059. We took out the taxes. It ended up with a net of $3,458. The basic support obligation for father would then be $846. I would note that Mother's proposed worksheets included a credit for insurance. The state would not include that at this point because there's been no documentation that the children are actually enrolled. From what I could tell in the pleadings, it was stated more as, well, we could do this.
Okay.
And if we did, we would choose this program. So without actual proof of enrollment and proof of actual costs, I don't know that we should be including that in the worksheet at this point.
Okay, so I have just a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
That income that you said he had made after his disability, which I agree with your analysis of that was income for a position that he would be able to work in the field that he was educated in. Is that accurate?
I actually have no idea what that job is.
What
I can
job
tell
was
you
that?
who the employer
It was
was.
assembly and production of wakeboard towers and Samson Sports, Your Honor. I have a degree in information systems security. I
Right.
was a vertical construction in the Army, not an engineer.
Okay.
He's
So,
also a skilled engineer.
Okay,
But
so
not-
let's go back, let's quickly address the one issue that was raised by father and kind of brushed over by you. And mom needs a protection order, we've been through this, she thinks she needs a protection order, it absolutely is going to prevent him from getting certain jobs. We all know that. Certain jobs, certain housing will not be available to him. That's unfortunate for him and for mom. So I don't think we could just impute him at a salary that he can't make because he's got a protection order in disability and he's has recent mental health issues. So I don't think that that's necessarily fair. But I do think that we should say that he can work because he could, as Ms. Petrie said, go to Petco or whatever she said.
Your Honor, if the petitioners would be willing to set some sort of make-up time, the issue before was that if I had to work weekends, I had a state job down at the grain inspection unit.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to leave that job because the petitioner was not willing to let me make up time that I had to work on the weekends.
For visitation.
Correct.
Right.
And so that's why I am targeting certain jobs that I can not work weekends during my visitation time and be able
Right.
to take the children to school.
Well, those are kind of two separate matters here. But Ms. Petrie, do you want to address that at all?
Well, Your Honor, that's not before the court today. Today, we're just supposed to be dealing with child support, and he keeps trying to distract.
All right.
I would like to correct two facts. He does not live with his parents. His parents gifted him a house, and it has no mortgage. He owns it free and clear, and he is also remarried and shares expenses with his spouse.
Okay. Thanks for putting that on the record. His parents are here. They're not indicating that that's accurate, but I'll leave that alone. So we just need to choose one of these things. And so is your worksheets, Ms. Ward, are they similar to the worksheets provided by? Which one is it? Do any of them match the worksheets provided by Ms. Petrie?
Let me check, Your Honor. The last worksheet I had for mother, let's see, set mother's income lower than I did. And set father's income higher than I did. It also included the $260 insurance.
That's her minimum one, the one that has the least amount. She did 3.
I only have one, so I don't know what multiple worksheets we're talking about. All I have is the one filed July 20th of this year.
She did.
We filed some on, I think it was August 29th or around there. And it was a submission of a bunch of different scenario worksheets.
Yeah, it was pretty well thought out. I don't know if you served the state who's a party to this. Did you serve the state?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what day we just got their notice of appearance last week.
Okay. Well, why don't we set this issue over?
Yeah, they hadn't appeared yet.
Right, okay, let's set the matter over. So what date's good for everybody? How about October? $27th. Does that work?
Yeah, I'm available, Your Honor.
Are you available, sir?
I believe so.
Well, you're not working.
Pretty flexible.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
did you say October 7th or 27th?
27th, please. Sorry, I have very few dockets available.
No worries, I just wasn't sure.
All right, so we will be back here on October 27th. I'll give Ms. Ward a chance to kind of analyze the stuff done by Ms. Petrie. And sir, you had some issues that you wanted to raise, so maybe get those filed and separately so we can address those at the same time.
Yes,
and
sir.
served on the people. Okay, all right, great. See you guys on this 27th of October. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Number
Thank you, Your Honor.
5 on the docket is the McElwain case, cause number 183008163. Oh, then we have an interpreter matter too. I'm sorry, I just realized that.
That's all right, Your Honor. I'm not sure if we need a deaf interpreter today. I'm not sure if the deaf people are there.
Okay, let me check. That was number 6. They don't need an interpreter. Thank you so much for checking in with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Hi guys.
Good morning, Your
we are here, where's the other part side? Oh, thank you. Is Mr. Trosper no longer representing you, ma'am? I can't hear you, you're on mute.
He withdrew.
Oh, okay. So this is a motion to amend the parenting plan and a motion for adequate cause. Did you get the paperwork, Miss McElwain?
Close enough,
Okay.
McElwain.
Yes, I did.
Huh?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you have some argument that you want to make? I didn't see a response.
I filed it yesterday morning. I have had COVID this week, and so I had a little bit of trouble getting out of the house.
Did you say you have COVID?
What's that?
What did you say? Why, are you sick?
Yeah, I have COVID.
Okay, that's a bummer. I mean,
That's
it must
why
not be
I'm
that bad.
good right now.
Kind of funny because you guys, anyway, so. It's not.
What?
I just was just thinking about the past issues that you guys had around the COVID, and it's always funny when people who don't believe in COVID get COVID.
We received responses last night at 3:55 PM.
Okay.
There is an acceptance of service by Mr. Trosper of these documents
Oh.
from July 27th.
Oh, yeah, because he withdrew after that fact.
Right.
Right.
And so our position is, obviously there's been more than enough time to respond. The
Right.
responses submitted last night were late. Quite frankly, I think the court would probably be shocked
At the response.
to read them. It's a rehash, only now everybody's in the crosshairs.
Me too, probably, yeah.
Including the guardian ad litem, including Commissioner Sasser. So, Your Honor, what we're asking for is a finding of adequate cause. We're asking the court to address the payment of the GAL fees.
Yeah.
We're asking the court to order child support. I don't know if the court saw that, but Ms. McElwain had returned from Florida, unbeknownst to any of us, including the court, went to DSHS and started up child support. My client has had his checks garnished.
Is that accurate?
When I actually let my attorney know on June 7th that I was considering moving, and then
I'm not talking about that. I know all that stuff. I was here. I'm talking about the child support. Did you go down to the office and get it started up when you didn't have, when we were in the midst of changing this, when he had custody that entire time?
No, what happened was when I filed my withdrawal, I had talked to my attorney, and I didn't go down to the child support office till about 2 or 3 weeks later, where he told me that there was the order for the child support was from January to May to have it stop, and then since I was back home and had withdrawn, to go down there and talk to them.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't need to go down there.
All right, thank you so much. What's going on with the enrollment of the kids in school right now?
They're enrolled in, they had their first day on Wednesday. It was a half day. They're in school right now.
Mhm.
They're doing great. Actually, really good. Yeah, they all have friends. They all have people who like them. I mean, I can go into.
So
both kids'
what's
students'
going on with
sports.
visitation then?
Well, they were doing the 50-50, which was a reversion back to the summer plan.
Right, so mom's planning on driving the kids all the way to Carson?
Well, no, it was her week this week. Tuesday night, my client got a communication saying, hey, I'm bringing the kids up. I cannot drive them to school in the mornings. And I have a copy of that if
Okay.
the court wants to see it. But, so, that's obviously not gonna work. We
Right.
thought maybe a 50-50 plan would work. Now we're looking at possibly.
Did she say that just because she was ill, or because she's saying that she's not gonna be able to do it?
Mainly because of her apprentice.
Oh, yeah, that
her
makes
apprentice
sense.
work.
Yeah.
So, and that
So
goes to the
Melissa,
issue
I'm just gonna go by your guys' first names if you don't mind, please, because your name is hard for me. Melissa, you would agree that, under the circumstances with the kids being enrolled in Carson and with you having to work, you do your apprenticeship, which I'm really happy you were able to find, that it's not gonna be feasible for you guys to follow the 50-50 parenting plan anymore, right?
Well, that's why I'm kind of concerned on why the kids were even put in Carson, because it made it impossible for me to drive 4 different times up and down there
But
to
it would
drop
have
them
been the
off.
same thing if they had gone to Washougal, right, for Stanley, right? He would have had the same it would not have been feasible for him if the school was 50-50.
Well,
Go ahead.
Caney Creek is in Skamania County. It's more of a middle point for both of us, in fact. And I guess I'm just a little confused because his whole objection to my relocation was to keep the kids here after the GAO report said to stay here with them. And the kids asked me to come back. I came back so they could be in the school that they've requested to be in. And I put declarations in from friends' parents who have spoken with them or have heard them say things about
Okay, so I'm
wanting
gonna
to stay.
just stop you really quick. So declarations that have the hearsay of your child or another person, they are not appropriate for this court to hear, and I will not even probably read them, I'll tell you that right now. Second of all, we had a GAL report where the kids spoke to them and they indicated where they wanted to go. Of course, things obviously are gonna change with their mom pressuring them and talking to them, so, yeah, there's gonna be a change, but they did say that they wanted to be in Carson, playing sports with the kids they were playing sports with in that neighborhood. They were very happy and very,
Your Honor, I have such a problem with that GAL report because a third interview was done after a report came out saying that the kids still didn't want to pick. My daughter, Mira, was under so much pressure. She's had multiple mental health days while with Stanley. He didn't get her into counseling of any sort. She had a panic attack before she even came to Florida to visit because he sat there and told them that if they came, they were never going to come back. So there have been, and then during that, right?
all right, Melissa, I'll stop you real quick. So are you asking because you're so ill, which I understand that this some people are getting really ill with this round of COVID, that you can't move forward today? Or you asked, or was the court able to go forward today? You were properly served and you had enough time to address this issue, even though you got your response back late. If you're too sick today in court to make arguments, I'd be willing to set this matter over. But we're gonna have to make a temporary plan for the kids during that time. Is that what you'd like me to do, or would you like me to go forward today?
I'd like for you to do a set over in
Okay,
temporary.
I'm willing to do that. It's okay. And you guys can appear via Zoom next time, and we all know where this is going.
And Your Honor, I guess before we leave today, though, we'd like to put a stay on the child support because they're continuing to garnish my clients'
Yeah, we'll do that.
wages.
I'm willing to do that. May I get a NCR? And in fact, you can just not give it to me, but give it to Mr.
And then, okay, and then I can draft that up. The only other issue, Your Honor, is that the daughters are enrolled in volleyball.
Yeah.
The son is enrolled in football. We're still looking at, from the sounds of what Ms. McElwain is saying, that she can manage an alternating weekend schedule. If we do that before the next court hearing, we would.
Ms. Melissa, will you be able to get the kids to their sporting events?
Well, it would depend. Like I haven't seen their schedules or when their stuff is, and I'm trying to get back on my feet from coming back after moving back home.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying to you, then, so what you're telling me is you're not gonna be able to get the kids to their sporting events? I don't understand
Well,
what you
I'd
try to
rather
get on
have
your
an
feet.
opportunity to try, and if I can't, then I will let Stanley know, but.
And so you'll let Stanley know, so then he'll make sure he gets them to the sporting events that you can't take them to?
Well, right now they're just in practice. I don't know how long the set over would be, but I don't believe any games would probably start for at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Practice. And my client, I have documentation here of all of the texts that he sent her about back to school, sports physicals, school shopping, football registration, all of those things. No response. No response.
Are you having difficulty time accessing our Family Wizard or whatever app you guys are using?
No, I did respond to it, but I responded to it in one of, when I asked him if he would be willing to take the kids for that first day since I couldn't be driving back and forth, and I just said, thank you for all the info. I guess I didn't realize I should have individually responded to each thing.
So on August 19th, it indicates, I'd like Mac to be able to do football this season. There wasn't a response to that, right?
Well, there wasn't, but I just figured he's gonna sign him up anyways, because that's kind of what he's been doing. And when I asked to sign Mac up for football previously, he completely refused.
So, okay, I'll set this over to October 27th. In the meantime, if you're not gonna have an inability to get the kids to their sporting events, let's say in a reasonable amount, because there's some, I think that she should be able to, like, the kids aren't always gonna wanna make it to their practices, they don't always, right, or the games.
The practices are just during the weekdays right now.
Oh, great.
And then Mac's gonna start games on weekends.
Okay, great, well, she'll get her to, you'll go to Max games, right, Melissa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always gone to their game.
Yeah, great, that's perfect. And then, so we'll make sure that the kids have to get to the games. If Melissa can't do it on her weekends, she'll make sure that, Dad has them. And then, so that'll be a part of the order. We will suspend child support for right now while we're working this all out, which is also a benefit to you, Melissa, because you're probably the one that should be paying. And then we'll set this over for a motion to address the adequate cause on the 27th. But Melissa, what I wanna kinda let you know is, and I know you guys have had pretty contentious relationship, the two of you. I haven't had a chance to see it from Stanley, and I'm sure he was kind of poop when you guys were married, but he seems like he's really trying to work with you now and do the right thing for the kids, and he's like this information that he's given you in My Family Wizard that I just saw, that was something we never saw when you had the custody of the kids. And he is asking you, he hasn't just been telling you what's going to happen with the parenting. He's trying to get input from you regarding football and these other things. So I can understand, sometimes we get super stuck in the past, and so I can understand that. But we're moving forward now, and so I would love for you guys to find a way to move forward in a better way for these kids. They have a really good relationship with both of you now, and it's really kind of exciting. So, but if you don't want to do that, then I guess we'll address that when we come back here on October 27th.
Can I just say that, like, we didn't have the Family Wizard app before this case, really, and I've done all these things Stanley's doing now, I've been doing with him for the last 5 years.
Okay.
So it's not that I haven't, I'm not, like I've said multiple times, if Stanley had been behaving like this before all of this, like,
Things
there
would have been
really
a lot
would
better.
be
I'm
no
glad you
problem.
can acknowledge that. Thank you for acknowledging that. Things would be a lot better if they would have been so much better if he would have done that earlier, and the best thing is now, he's doing it. So here we are.
No, I know, but that's, I mean,
I'm
he
sorry.
did it after.
I'm sorry that it happened to you before, or that you felt that way before, but we're in a different place now. What?
Just need a response date, Your Honor, as far as the due date of her response.
Did she not respond?
Well, if there's gonna be anything new.
If you're gonna have anything new, do you think you'll add anything new, Melissa, to your response to the petition for adequate cause?
I'll have to look at it again.
Okay, so, well then let's get you a date to get that done by, so we can make sure we're not in this spot again. How about, let's say October 12th, you have to have your response by, that seems a significant period of time that you should be able to get that done, appropriate, right?
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on your apprenticeship, and I hope, good luck in football.
Before we go, just weekends starting when? And what's our?
We're doing every other weekend, starting now.
Right,
Okay,
starting
so
now, so.
kids with me this weekend, kids with her next weekend?
Yeah.
Well, I have COVID, so they
Yeah,
probably
that
should be.
stinks, I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, well, I guess COVID dependent, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
and drop off time, 6 o'clock Stevenson, like it is always
Okay, yeah, but I
Friday?
do wanna clarify that. So the exchange time will be 6 PM, Friday evening and Sunday? Is that?
Yeah. that could
Does that work for you, Melissa?
6 PM is fine. Can we do what we had originally discussed, where when it's my time to pick up the kids, I'll go up to the A&J Mart, and when it's his time, when it's his time to grab them, he'll come down to Washougal to keep it fair. That's what we've been doing.
It's not really fair. It's 20-minute drive for me into Stevenson. I'm willing to meet halfway. It would be great if she agreed that Stevenson was halfway originally.
Yeah,
If
she
we
just
can,
said it.
yeah. So if we can just keep it halfway and.
So the A&J.
No, Commissioner Saffer agreed to us meeting at secure locations. And for the last 5 years, I lived out of the city and had to drive into town. So
Yeah, so I'm
chose
just
to
kind of,
move.
so in Stevenson, they've got a police station?
Yes.
There is,
She-
but actually the police station is pretty quiet in the evenings. A&J is one of the best camera areas. I've got other exchanges that take place
Oh,
up there
okay.
because of that.
So Melissa, the thing is, like, you were just talking to me about where the kids could go to school, that was somewhere in between, and you're telling me this was kind of like the in-between spot. So it seems reasonable for both of you guys to go to this in-between spot. I am concerned, I don't want you to have to be concerned for your safety. If you heard what Mr. Foley said, was just trying to describe that this place is very well lit and lots of cameras. Is that gonna work for you?
Well, that's the thing. So we had talked about this with Commissioner Sasser about, because we meet at the
My name is
police
Judge
in a-
Banfield, I'm now on the case, so I'm asking you this, is it a safe place for A&J or not?
Well, the A&J was the place where I was supposed to drop him off, and the police department was where A&J was supposed to be where I picked them up, and the police department in Washougal was where he picked them up, because that's what we had been doing for the last 5 years.
Sounds good, so we'll do A&J, 6 o'clock, thank you so much.
Okay, for pick
So
up.
I
Yeah,
have
pick
to
up and
drive
drop
both
off.
places.
And that was
and
recommended
he,
by Sheriff Shine.
Yeah, it's fine, thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, number 6 on the docket is the Reynolds Bailey matter. Cause number 19-300-82406. Done something wrong here. Okay. Hi, guys. Oh, such grumpy people I got this today. All my people who don't like to get along with each other. We were just here on a contempt before, right? So Dad was refusing to pay child support. So now he's refusing to pay child support. Is that what we're here about?
No, we're here to modify the parenting plan.
Oh, modify the parenting plan. That last time we were here about the child
Yeah.
support. And during that time, he, yeah, I remember all the other stuff. And so, Gage, you're saying that you don't want the parenting plan to change. And Mom is saying that the parenting plan should change because currently, he's your son is, Seth is picking up really bad behavior and saying, using the kind of the language that we all saw that you were using about Mom.
Which is strange because, as I've said here before, I've never said that in front of him. Never have, never will. It's always just text between me and her.
Okay.
Whenever Seth says anything, I tell him not to talk about his mom that way. I tell him, and anything pertaining to court, I just say it's grown-up stuff. So everything in there that she's saying that I told him, I didn't tell him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where she's getting that I'm teaching him words to call her because I
Well,
don't
just,
talk
it's not just
negatively
that,
about
it's
his
just
mom.
the disdain that you have for her is just, it seeps out of you, and I'm sure he's seeing it.
I don't call her name. I don't call him names or her names in front of him ever. Nothing but nice to her in front of him.
So you are asking for the contact to be limited. And you're asking that there not be any visitation at this time, or
No, I just every other weekend, the first and third weekend, Friday to Sunday.
what do we have now?
It's like half the time every other week for him. He's with me for the full week every other week.
Right.
So,
It's causing some
so right now
disruption.
it's like 60-40.
I have him Wednesday through Sunday, other than the second weekend, and she has him for 11 days. Other than that, that's how it is throughout the whole school year.
Right.
And then
How
it's
close do you guys live to each other?
downtown Vancouver, Camas,
Mm-hmm. And where's the child go to school again?
At King Elementary over here.
definitely closer to her house, but
Yeah.
And that's where he's been ever since he started kindergarten.
Yeah. Mhm. This is, I feel like we're gonna have to address these problems that you guys are having. I mean, you guys are gonna have to take some kind of, co-parenting classes or something, right? I don't wanna limit your time.
shouldn't be limited. I've done
but-
nothing wrong.
Well,
She's not nice to me, I'm not nice to her. That's not that complicated.
So my real problem with May I speak? I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
My real problem throughout the school year is I want to sign Seth up for all these extracurriculars, and I want to start taking him to therapy and stuff
Right.
because his behavior is getting extra erratic lately.
Yeah.
And he definitely needs it.
Mhm.
But I can't get him to answer me half the time, or if he
Mhm.
does agree with me, the last time we were here, a week after, he had called and set up a doctor's appointment. We had talked about this. He completely forgot it.
I did, I'm not gonna deny. I
Yeah.
forgot one doctor's
And
appointment.
he didn't even know what the doctor's appointment
Well,
Well,
was.
he's trying, he was trying, he's not good at it yet. He's not good at it yet.
I think
Gotta
I'm
give him some
doing-
chance to figure it out.
I think I'm doing fine, but either way,
You're not doing fine.
Okay, well, that's a matter of opinion.
He
Yeah.
just asked me 3 days ago what his shoe size was.
Yeah, I did because I wasn't at
He's
home with the shoes.
It's okay, it doesn't matter. I don't know my kid's shoe size.
It's just dumb things she
No,
complains
it's
about all
not
the time.
dumb. I'm just
Ridiculous.
saying, like, look, I
Ridiculous.
have to, their shoe sizes change consistently. It's like they go through shoes. It's silly. It's a silly argument, but this is not working, and so we're gonna have to do something because it's not working. And right now, the kids in school down here, so we're gonna have to figure something else out that's gonna work. So I'm finding that there's adequate cause, but I'm not gonna limit you the way that she's asking, right? So we gotta figure something out. So let's talk, you and I.
Okay, I
All
feel
right.
it shouldn't change whatsoever.
You already told me that.
I've been in my kid's life
All right,
all
I'll
8
make my own
years.
decision then.
Well, then what do you wanna talk about?
I want
What?
to talk about which way we can make it so it's
Okay,
gonna work
fine.
better for you, so we're hardly limiting you, but so that Gage can have a consistent schedule during the school year.
I mean, Seth,
Seth, sorry, your Gage, yeah.
I should not lose time with my son.
Mm-hmm.
What are the grounds for me losing
That
time
the
with him?
relationship's not working, the kid's not making it to his appointments, and you can't respond to her in an appropriate manner, an appropriate time frame.
I missed one appointment, and I respond to her about everything she texts me about.
I told him to download Parent View so that he would know all about the school schedules. He
And I
never
did.
answered, and he did not know the school schedule changed until I told him on the first day of school, so that Seth wouldn't be
Yeah.
late.
Incorrect. I
The
literally.
Parent View stuff, I can't believe they changed the apps on us, man, it's
Uh,
just like so
yeah.
hard to keep up, so.
We have
It's
a
like,
parent
what are we gonna do here?
I get emails consistently because I signed up for them. He has
Yes.
never once signed up for them, and
Okay,
I've told
that's
him not
fine,
to.
he's gonna he's trying, he's gonna do that. Did you sign up for Parent View now?
The thing that she sent me, yes, I signed
You
up
got
for
it?
it, yeah.
Good job, yeah. And so it's not her job to tell you, but I think it's good for her to tell you because that's nice, because it's gonna help Seth if you do that. So stop complaining, he's trying to get it together. But this isn't working, so we're gonna have to do something else. So how about extended weekends? So we just do, dad drops off the kid to school on Monday, picks up, and what am I saying right now? Yeah, you pick up the kid from school on Thursday, drop off on Monday. That's more consistent schedule, does that work?
I mean, I'm fine with that because it's essentially what we already have, just
Yeah.
moved around by a day.
Well, then let's do Friday to Monday then.
Just because she's got to get that one extra day in,
Not
right?
because of the extra day, because we wanna make it more consistent. So how about if we give you an extra weekend? So we're doing every other weekend right now?
So let's just, get rid of the second weekend thing? Because that's the only way I see it being fair, is if she's already
But
getting
then
more
I
time.
don't get weekends with my son.
Oh, no, you need to have a weekend.
And
Right.
I just want to go on record as saying this because she's making me seem like I'm so difficult. Whenever she asks me for extra time or to rearrange something, I always work with her. I'm fine with that.
Can you guys get into a co-parenting class or something, just something like that?
That would be wonderful.
That would be great.
I mean, I'm fine for it, but at the same time, I got the child support thing set up, so now I'm now paying that. Is this something that I have to pay for?
You've been paying child support?
No, I just got it set up. There was a miscommunication. I finally called them. They've been sending the paperwork to my previous jobs, like,
Oh, I see.
so I finally got that resolved. It took me a while to get it figured out with my
All right,
manager.
this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna have every other weekend from Friday, after school to Monday, or to Sunday evening. And that's what we're gonna do until you guys get into a co-parenting class or something, because I know you guys can't parent together and the child's having significant behavioral issues. And
I have not seen them. This is all on her side only. I have not seen any behavioral issues.
Because you stick him in front of a video game the entire weekend.
No,
Okay,
I
I
don't.
don't
We go
hear
do
that.
plenty of
Yes,
things. We
you're
do plenty of things. We go to the water all the
Friday to
time.
Monday, every other weekend.
Why am I losing time though?
Because for right now during the school year, and we're gonna come back here and address this again, and we can try to make it up if it's gonna be summers, maybe you'll have bigger blocks of time, but right now, while the kid's in school, he needs to have a consistent schedule and parents that can parent together. You guys can't do that, so.
I just don't understand why I'm the one
You might
losing
not
time
be,
because of this.
we're gonna address this, I'm finding adequate cause, temporarily, this is the one thing I'm doing, we're gonna have evidence and have a trial, and then I don't want to limit your time. Seth
shouldn't
loves
at
spending
all.
time, stop talking to me.
Well, you're talking to me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm telling you to stop talking to me so you can hear what I have to say.
Very negative is what you're saying.
So in the summers, and the breaks, you might have to get the makeup time. Mom's gonna have to miss some time because you should have time with your son. He enjoys spending time with you. So, but right now, we wanna have a consistent school schedule until we get this stuff under control. Does that seem reasonable to you?
No.
Okay, perfect.
I'm gonna file for a
So I'm
different
gonna give
judge
you this
to
NCR
redo this.
paper,
I'm
and you're
not
gonna
dealing
write
with this.
down what I've just said, and we're gonna get this order in place right now.
Do you
What
need
I'm
me
gonna
to
say
sign
here-
anything?
I would need a big one. Yes, I will. Don't run out here like you like to do.
Well, I'm sorry, this irritates me. Both of you do.
It's probably because we're females.
We're getting a different judge next time.
Well, you can try.
I will. The only reason I didn't this time is because I didn't have a whole month to do it.
Well, listen, sir, what happens in these cases is that once I start an action, I don't get off the action. So you won't have me next time you're in here in the court. Do you understand? That's how it works. I'm not being prejudiced to you.
Biased.
I am not being biased to you.
You've given her everything she's wanted every time I
I'm
come in
giving
here.
Seth an appropriate parenting plan for right now. I'm saying to you, I want you to have that time, but it's going to be at a different time when it's not going to mess with the way he's going to school. If you can't see the benefit to your son, I'm sorry. That doesn't make me biased.
Judge.
Huh?
I'm gonna file for a different judge. Like, you are biased. You are the most biased judge I've ever dealt with.
Put the new parenting plan on there. I'm sorry that you feel that way, Seth. I really would
My
like.
name
This
is Gage.
Sorry.
Seth is the son.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't remember your guys' names completely.
You read the paperwork. Dude, you're just ridiculous, man. Why am I losing time with my son? It makes no
You're not
sense.
losing time. I'm gonna give it back to you in another form, but maybe.
Every other
let's see.
weekend now, it's like I have him during the school week
Right.
or school year 3 out of 4 weekends a
Right.
month.
Right.
So now I'm losing a whole week.
Right. So we're gonna figure it out because I want to give you the time back. That's what I'd like to do.
Fine.
But-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, I can understand why you're frustrated.
Dude, I just
You
love
have
my
a good
son.
relationship with your son.
Love
I know,
my son,
I know.
man.
I can understand your frustration. I'm sorry that this is very frustrating to you. And when we initially started this, I wanted you to help me try to find a plan. So between now and the next time that we see each other, I want you to try to think of something that we can do that will limit the impact of Seth while he's in school. Seth, not Gage.
Okay.
And then okay.
No, that's
And
not what I
then-
mean. I'm more meant like,
And then
what is the
that you
impact,
will
though?
have, huh?
what is, I
Well,
don't
right-
see the issue at all though. Like, what is
Do you want
happening
to
now?
reappoint a GAL to the case so that they can do some
I
investigation?
don't even know what that is.
It's a guardian ad litem, and then they talk to Seth, and they talk to you, and they talk to mom, and they'll talk to the school, and they can find out how he's doing and whether or not there are any issues or whether mom's just Looney Tune. And then they'll give us a report back here, and then we can address it. Do you want me to do
I
that?
don't want to I want to be done with the court, honestly.
I know,
I
well-
don't want to deal with this. Like, we were fine, and then all of a sudden I proposed to my fiance, and now all of a sudden I'm to
Because
court
he's getting our
every
child
other month.
I don't want, nope. Mm-mm.
Never before that did this happen.
Okay. Ever before what?
I proposed to my fiance, and she's been bringing back to
Wait,
court
I
every
don't want to
month
talk about
now.
that. But can I ask you this question? When was the proposal?
April.
Okay, so we were in court before April before?
We've
With
been coming
you?
to court since December.
Yeah.
You just started on us in April.
Okay.
No, we went to court in January with Sasser
December
or
during
something like
Christmas
that.
break.
And then we've been with
With
you every
Sasser.
time, and they've all been
Because
since then.
Sasser is his fiance's judge from their case.
No.
So that's why.
We're good.
Okay.
Everything's
Okay.
cool. You guys, I'm glad you guys
I'm
found
sorry.
love at other places. Hopefully you guys treat those people better.
But now I'm getting punished for it ever since then.
Well, that's not fair. So
Exactly.
Yeah, it's totally not fair. But we'll address that. So would you like me to appoint a GAL to the case?
No, I just want this to be done
Would you
and me
like
have
a
my time back
GAL?
with my time.
Yes.
Okay.
What's
The
the
problem
point
with
of
the
even asking me then?
actually what I'm gonna do is I'll send you, I know you guys are having some income issues, so we're gonna send this to the family services, and that's a cheaper way to handle that. I think I have to have a form or something to fill out for that.
So what, is this gonna like make it take longer and just be a more complicated process now?
Well, hey, right now what we're doing is we've got this plan for the school year, right? So but the only thing I really would like for you to do is try to figure out, because during this time there'll be longer weekends, and I think you should probably get those. There'll be in-service days. I feel like you should probably get that time for makeup. I think, and there'll be like spring breaks and stuff like that. So
Am I gonna get all this in writing? Cause I'm gonna have to rearrange my whole work schedule now. I usually work the weekends.
Oh. Every weekend you work.
I have Saturday off, but I always work Sunday and Monday, so now I'm gonna have to make those 2 days off because I want every minute I can with him.
Right, and then, so would you be able to adjust your work schedule for that?
Yeah, it's very flexible. I just need to
Okay.
know what I need to change it to.
All right, good, thanks for letting me know that. I'm gonna let you guys fill this out. I go have a seat and fill this out really quick. Just fill out the, never mind. see. Seth's last name,
Reynolds.
just Reynolds, okay. And he's how old now?
8. When will we be coming back to court then?
Well, we're gonna have to wait till this report gets done, so. How long am I supposed to give, do you know? Leanne, do you know how much time I'm supposed to give toward one of these reports? Jasmine, are you gonna be able to, help Gage out here and try to like find extra time for him when the days are off? Are you willing?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
She won't.
Well, look
She
at,
won't.
He will
you,
all be
you know
for-
what, let me tell you something.
What?
If she doesn't, that is good for you, because when we come back here for trial, I'm gonna be really upset with her because she
And, but
didn't
I gotta
do it.
file paperwork for it, cause I'm
No,
not,
no, we're gonna be doing this. You're gonna have this investigation. I found adequate cause. We're gonna need to set the case for trial. What you should probably do is ask for a settlement conference, cause then you'll get a different judge for that. And then, this report's gonna come out. But in the meantime, I'm asking Jasmine to try to give you all the time. That's gonna be the makeup time. You're shaking your head, that's fine.
I heard you the first time, but she won't do it.
Okay, well then that's gonna be to your benefit, because when this, when it comes back and she hasn't been helpful, guess who's gonna end up having the majority of the parenting time? You. If she can't co-parent with you, then that's what's gonna happen. So, that would be stupid of her, but she may do it, I don't know, you know her better than me apparently. I'm gonna give you this form for you guys to sign off on it.
I don't know.
After, pardon?
I don't know if I filled this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it, thank you. And then I'm gonna look at, you're gonna take a copy of this on you, is that my pen? That's your pen.
I took it from there, sorry.
You're gonna, I think you're supposed to go check in right away, or you go over there, they're across the street, and get information, cause you have to contact them, they don't contact you, right? This guy that
course.
does the investigation.
So I have to figure this all out myself. It's not something that's just, you're instating, so now it's just done. I have to go figure it out myself now.
Figure what out yourself?
Dude, I don't know. The reason I don't come to court like her is because I don't like jumping through your guys' hoops. I don't know what you want me to do with this.
Okay, so I want you to sign it, but then you're gonna get a copy of it, and then I'm telling you what to do. So currently, let's look at me so we can have a good conversation. Currently, I think that you go to the 4th floor of the courthouse, that's court administration, and then you'll let them know that you have this document and that you're ready for to do an interview with the people, and they'll start scheduling you for that. And that they take it from there. It's just your responsibility to go over there to set this appointment up. And then, thank you so much. And then, it takes about 30 days. So we're gonna put this on for October 27th, just to review the report, okay? And then, in the meantime though, you can do a couple of things. You can do a motion to set for trial, or it's called what's it called by you guys? What do you, trial setting?
Trial setting notice.
Notice to set for trial.
Is that required? Because
If you want a trial, and you
I
do.
said, I just want to be done with this. Is all I want. I don't want to be in a courtroom anymore.
Okay, well, you can just agree with everything she wants.
No, I don't want her to just get what she
well, then
wants,
you're
but
gonna
I
have
want to be
finish
done
this
with court.
process. So, I can't-
Hilarious, yes.
Yeah.
Let's laugh. What am I signing?
You're
Right
signing-
here?
Yes, sir. So this is a motion, adequate
Says
cause was
for lawyer.
granted, and then it says you pick up from school on Friday, drop off at school on Monday. And then,
That is what you said.
yeah,
right?
that is what I said, and then, I actually said, but that's fine, since she.
Sunday, but yes, yeah.
We'll leave it for Monday for right now. And then mom to find makeup time.
So extra 3-day weekend, so I'll
Yeah,
just
try to make sure he gets all that stuff, yeah, and then by the time we come back here, there'll only probably be 2 holidays.
There's
to go
this weekend,
through.
I know for sure.
And then, when we,
I also have one question too.
yes, sir,
So, what, this isn't happening until the week before Halloween? I was supposed to have Halloween this year as part of our previously agreed.
She
Okay,
says no
for once,
problem. Right.
she has no problem.
okay, on the record, she has no problem, you got Halloween. Okay, I
Cool.
want you to sign this too. You hand me the paperwork that you signed over there.
I didn't sign anything here, I didn't, I signed
this, or
that.
it's just that?
That
Those are the
says-
first 2 pages.
All right, Gage, so why don't you do a good job keeping a record of when she's not giving you your parenting time, okay? Sorry. Deadlines. Say October.
It says attorney for.
I know.
It's attorney or person, it's fine.
Sorry, am I supposed to be handing it to you?
Yeah, you're fine. And I'll see you guys back here on October 27th. Hey, hey, Gage.
What?
Get some of this paperwork, because that'll help you to remember what's going on.
Sure, well, here, where's that?
Great. Alright. Number 7 on the docket is McQuaid. Customer 1930.
Your Honor, I was actually gonna pipe in because I'm getting called to another docket. The
I'm
Hunter
sorry, I didn't hear
Perellis
you.
matter.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting called to another docket, so I thought I'd pipe in. The Hunter Perellis matter should be really short. If you
Okay.
could take that sometime soon.
What number is that?
I'm sorry, I don't have the docket in front of me. I apologize.
Well, I don't see it, I'm sorry.
It was on today, and Mr. Gilbert filed a motion for genetic testing.
Could you give me the cause number?
Yes. It is 23-5-00158-06.
We don't have that on the docket, and that would be stinky. I've been waiting here this whole time, and so I apologize for that.
It's not my motion. I don't even know, is he present in the courtroom? Is he present on Zoom or in the courtroom, Your Honor?
So the docket was closed when they made the citation for this case, and so it was struck.
Okay. Okay, well, he's the one who filed the motion, so.
Hunter Gilbert, and I think that it was in front of Commissioner Hayes, not in front of me. That's what I have.
We got a notice of, we were served with a notice of hearing that you, so.
All right, well, I don't have, there was a notice of hearing, and then he was told by the clerk's office that there was no space on my docket, because the docket was already closed. And so then, and he was notified via email. I don't know if that means they only notify him, or if they notify both of you. So then there was an amended one filed, and they put it on Commissioner Hayes for, it looks like September 6th is what I see this being heard in front of Commissioner Hayes on September 6th.
Huh, okay. I will adjust that on my end.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you, you too.
Number 7 on the docket, McQuaid. Is that what he's doing? 19-3-132506.
Good morning, Your Honor, on behalf of Camara.
So this was a motion to vacate. I don't, is the Matthew, are you present?
I'm present.
Oh, hi. Ooh, this is a scary one here, huh? Hey, Matthew, will you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Matthew McQuaid, McQuade.
Okay, thank you. And will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings here today?
I do.
Okay. So we're here today on a motion to vacate because apparently the service was either forged or something. So do you have a position on that first?
Yes, it was not forged. I worked with, I provided a receipt of the
Yeah, okay,
service.
I'm sorry, Matthew, let me talk to you a little bit real quick here. You did provide us a receipt, which doesn't necessarily mean that that's accurate. It doesn't make sense, there's all this corroborating evidence that in fact, you did not actually, serve her, because what happened was, you went, you still went to the school orientation, you still did all these things as if you were still going, as soon as she was asking about that stuff, as if the kid was still going to be in that school, and then you just didn't. So that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not buying that story. So, I mean, why would you go to the orientation if you had planned on moving that months ago?
I was waiting for details, and I was under the impression that
I'm having
I
a hard
had
time hearing you. I'm
served.
so sorry. It's not your fault, it's mine.
Okay, I was under the impression that I had served the other party properly, their mother properly, with going through this service agency. I was waiting for more details in terms of where we were going to be living, and that's why I wasn't gonna jump the gun and say, yeah, we're moving and we've got all this these things lined up. I wanted to make sure that it was lined up.
Okay, well, so that's not
for the
how that
kid.
works. So we do a motion to relocate because we have all the things lined up. It wouldn't be approved unless you did. The court wouldn't approve something. If you don't have an address or don't have those things, we don't approve motions to relocate without that information because obviously the other party can't object if there's no plan in place. So that doesn't, again, make sense regarding your service.
I think-
I just don't understand why you went to the school orientation when you intended on never being at the school.
I wasn't sure if the plans were gonna change.
Okay.
I wanted to make.
I am vacating, I'm finding that there was fraud or misrepresentation. I'm vacating that motion. I'm really concerned here, Matthew, what I want to tell you is I didn't see exactly what they're going to be asking for everything here, but this court, because of this behavior, finds it really hard to believe that you guys can co-parent, and that's concerning. When I read through the communication and the behavior in the communication, that was also really concerning. And I'm really worried that we're gonna have to. I don't want to have to limit anybody's parenting time, but it sounds like that might be something that we're gonna have to consider doing here, right? Because when somebody just moves with the kids, doesn't tell anybody, acts like they told somebody, and literally is not allowing for communication with the kids in the appropriate time and manner, that doesn't work well for co-parenting. And all this stuff is so well documented, so it's going to be really hard for you to address this issue. I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not. I would not have moved if I did not believe that I had taken the right steps to relocate. I was under the impression that I followed the guidelines correctly. I don't want to bring the other person, their mother, their name. I don't want to drag it through the mud, but I do have trust issues and fears just from past experiences with this person, their unfaithfulness, and that's not to be, I don't want to go into that right now. And I'm sure
the court
you
doesn't
hear
take
that.
those things into consideration. I do take you having trust issues in consideration, but I want you to understand, if you're trying to, infidelity, all those things, I'm not allowed to even consider that. I am sorry that you went through that and that you have these trust issues, but it's nothing that I'm going to be able to do anything about.
Right.
I'm sorry, what were you looking for today?
Oh, adequate cause for a
Yeah.
major modification,
Yeah.
finding
Yeah.
him in contempt on multiple points.
Yeah.
Fees, what else? I wrote it all down because there's almost 300 pages of documentation.
it
But
was a lot.
yeah, asking the court to vacate the current relocation order, which of course has already happened. If there is a new final parenting plan, which we were never able to find,
Right.
we would like that to be tossed out
So
as
did
well.
Matthew, did you read all the documents that were given to you by Ms. Margraf?
I did, and I responded to the best of my ability. I'm
Okay.
self-represented.
Do you, is it, it's so weird, right? Like there's no parenting plan that's been filed? It's just baffling to me.
Well, when I went through the process, I submitted the ex parte document. I filed that, and I was under the impression that what I submitted was everything that I needed to submit.
Okay.
Um,
All right, well, let's do this. So I'm vacating, obviously I vacated the relocation. Where are the kids currently?
They're up in the Kirkland area.
Okay, so they'll be coming back home. And if you don't have a place here, Matthew, that means they'll just be staying with mom full-time right now. And then, and you can do every other weekend till we get that all settled and stuff. I am finding adequate cause for a major modification. This was a significant event by not actually following the court rules at all. You know, the relocation statute allows for a significant sanction to you for this. I don't see that they've asked for the sanction, but they are asking for attorney's fees, which I'll be granting, and so there's that. Right now, Matthew, the contempt issues, what's interesting about those is they're not necessarily wrapped around this. They're wrapped around all the times that you haven't allowed parenting or communication and stuff. So did you want to address that with me right now?
Yeah, I think the instances where I'm being held in contempt, for example, the times that I'm not communicating where we're staying overnight, I believe that that's an interpretation of that, like it's a misinterpretation of what was written down, and how it's understood. If the kids are staying somewhere overnight without the parent, then
I think
then
that's
it
silly
needs
that
to-
you guys would have to tell each other if you're staying overnight at someone's house. So I'll tell you that. I don't know. I didn't, the parenting plan, if you guys were silly enough to put that in there, then I don't know what else to say. Because I don't think you parents should have to do that. It's their parenting time. They choose what they're going to do during their parenting time. So, but you know, you kind of put that stuff in there. So, but what I want to address then is, what about like with a missed parenting time?
There's one incident which took place that I'm aware of during spring break. The connecting weekend from that week that the kids were off of school going into Easter weekend, I was going to be having them, and I believe there was a Thursday that was included with that I missed, and
Okay.
that's on me.
Yeah, that's good. And so the problem is, I want to, if we talk about your guys' relationship co-parenting, the problem isn't that you missed it, it's just that you decided that you were going to take it and you're going to do what you wanted to do. So that's our problem. So it's, yes, that is your bad, but we got to do better. It's kind of like, you guys have joint decision making, right? And then you're making all the decisions, like where the kid goes to school and what doctors they go to, and not giving mom information when the kids are going to the doctor. All that stuff, that's all contemptuous. So that's not how that word goes, but
It feels right.
okay. But so I am finding you in contempt for those things. I'm not going to find you in contempt because you guys were so silly to put that thing in the parenting plan, because I think it's really silly. But I will find you in contempt for withholding the child and for not allowing communication to happen. And I'm going to just give you a $100 civil penalty for that. But you're going to have to pay the full amount of attorney's fees that have been requested for this matter. And then what's happening now, since I found adequate cause, is that there'll be a notice to set for trial unless you guys can negotiate a parenting plan that's going to work for you. I'll let that kind of process go on its own. You can speak to Cameo's attorney, and then hopefully you guys can get some things worked out. It's always better when you guys negotiate something instead of having me do it, as you can see what happened in here earlier. And, Ms. Ward, your interest, please?
The state's interest is medical.
So let's make sure, since anything that has to do with child support, Matthew, Ms. Ward will be helping us to address. She has to be served all the documents as well, that whatever we do in this case. They only allow personal service. That's right, Ms. Ward, right?
That's correct, Chairman.
Okay. They only allow personal service, so that's kind of makes things a little bit difficult because the office is down here in Clark County, across the street here from us. So, but that's what you need to know, right?
Right. Neither party served us.
What did you say?
Neither party served us.
Yeah, I
so
figured
we
that.
hadn't gotten anything.
Yeah, so while we all are where you're involved now, and we'll make sure that you get all of that information and help us get this all worked out. So what are we gonna do about a temporary parenting plan at this time?
Well, we're proposing that, he has them every other weekend.
Yeah.
Just basically Friday to Sunday.
Yeah. Sounds
Pickup
good.
time, I guess, ideally would be at Mixed Tamala's home. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that work for you, Matthew? Pick up at, is it, how is it? I wrote it down.
Tamala.
Tamala, sorry.
No, I live up in Kirkland and it takes approximately 4 hours to get to Portland and then an additional 2.5 hours to get back. I'd request that we meet at least halfway in Chehalis. We've met there before.
So my issue, I can kind of get you closer, but my issue is I'm not trying to get you halfway because you weren't supposed to move to begin with. So it kind of creates kind of a problem. So we, how about where did you suggest, Matthew?
I suggested in Chehalis.
Okay, how about we do Longview? That'll take some time off. I know that's a stinky drive for you. That Kirkland drive is awful.
There's a Dutch Bros right off the 5 there.
Dutch Bros right off the 5 at Longview.
I would, sorry, can I say
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
I would just request somewhere that has a restroom because Matthew had chosen Dutch Bros in Chehalis, but there's no bathroom for the kids.
There's a Shell right across the
There's a
street.
Burgerville there.
Yeah.
There's what would you guys like?
Shell's probably all right.
Shell?
It's got a mini
That's
mart.
All right, Shell.
Okay.
All right. So the Shell station there in Longview, and then Matthew, we'll try to work with you if you're planning on staying up there in Kirkland on a better way for us to do this. But right now we just got to get some things hammered out, and since we're just trying to fix something that was done incorrectly. So what else?
Okay.
Schooling.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that the children are gonna be enrolled in Firmcrest.
Yeah, they're gonna go back to the same, kids go back to the same school. And, Matt, I think there was a problem with like mom's permissions.
Correct.
Which is
No
so
documentation.
None whatsoever. We have a situation
What
where.
happens with that? What's going on there?
Mixed Tamala put together a whole binder for Mr. McQuaid when they decided to separate.
Yeah.
Then they left, and then they were not provided with copies after multiple requests.
Yeah.
Mixed Tamala tried to contact Social Security. Social Security said she needed a birth certificate. Birth certificate folks said she needed records of immunization. Immunization was not provided because Mr. McQuaid refused to do a limited release of information with pediatrician. So my client wasn't able to get a hold of those records. It's just been
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear that, Matthew? Do you wanna give me a response real quick? I gotta get this thing moving here.
Yeah, that was unintentional. I'm not trying to remove them out of involvement with those.
Well, then that's
those-
gonna be such an easy fix. So,
Yeah.
well, let's make sure, and so I know that, Miss Tamala will tell you, she's not gonna do that same thing to you, cause she's now getting the kids enrolled in school. So, but all of the documents and stuff that she's gonna need to get that done, she'll probably have to get most of that from you. And so you're saying that wasn't intentional before, so that's gonna be awesome, because you'll be able to easily give her all that stuff that she's gonna need. Her attorney will let you know that what she needs, and then we can move from there, right? And then I'm telling her right now, she better not respond in the way that you unintentionally responded. And she better make sure that she's giving you all the updates and that she's checking in with you, because we still have joint decision making going on, right? So we're still doing that, so she better make sure you're included in all that, and that you have access to the school and the teachers and all of that information.
Actually, Your Honor, if we could interject quickly, we've had a serious dispute about the necessity of counseling for at least one of the
Well, I
children.
will grant counseling, so I'm just,
Okay,
we
so
don't even have to
decision
go
on
through that,
medical?
yeah,
Okay.
right. So, and so Matthew, you'll have to sign off on all the paperwork that's necessary for this. Do you think you can do that?
Can I ask a question what the counseling is for? I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah, talk to me. What's the problem? Tell me what's going on. Why don't you want counseling?
No, I don't, counseling, I'm sorry, I maybe misunderstood the question. Is there a question about one of the kids? I don't know what the.
Oh, so what I was just informed, and maybe you didn't hear, and I also have a really difficult time hearing, but, the counseling, that mom wants to get one of the kids into counseling, at least one of the kids. Sounds like that you've been blocking that. She's saying, that's what she's saying. We don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't really matter. Is it true?
I don't know what counseling this is in reference to, so I just am curious what it's about, because I don't know.
I'm asking you, are you gonna try to stop her from enrolling the child in counseling? That's my only question.
Oh, your question, no, I wouldn't stop.
Okay, good.
No.
So she's wanting to get the kids involved in counseling. I can see with this type of turmoil that's going on in your guys' relationship, probably the kid needs it. I mean, I love my counselor, my therapist. I go all the time. So I think it's good for anyone, whether there's a problem or not. Anyway, so she's going to go ahead and get the child signed up for counseling. You'll definitely get the information on that. And you can actually help choose the counselor if you like, because you guys got joint decision making. So why don't you guys each kind of research that, find out what you guys both like, and hopefully you can decide together. But if you can't, I'll make that decision for you, okay?
Cool. When should I expect the kids back?
The kids will be back as soon as possible, and you might have to go pick them up because they need to get to school. This is not appropriate. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Sorry, do I pause paying child support currently? Because I don't get it.
Did you ask for that?
I believe we did ask for a change in support.
Yeah. Well, Ms. Ward, how do we handle that?
According to Washington State's support schedule.
Your Honor, the state's suggestion at this point would be to just do an NCR order indicating the date at which mom's obligation stopped.
Okay.
And set a date for us to review, because at this point, we're gonna need updated financial information. The state's gonna need to get served.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna need to set a date for an actual entry, because honestly, we just did this case.
Yeah.
In February.
Yeah.
So,
I saw that. That's when
I'm now being given worksheets that don't look anything like that.
Yeah.
It may be that mom has a new job, but again, you know, I'm sort of limping along here because we didn't get served.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Apologies.
Okay. All right. So we'll do. Ms. Margraf will do an NCR indicating all of that, and then. And then we'll see you guys back when you guys get ready to come back. I'm not putting you on a date. Right.
All right.
Okay.
So,
And it's just every weekend.
Can I just ask what my next steps would be? Because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So right now, I found out of what caused. We've got a temporary parenting plan that's going to get put in place. And then, so you're just going to follow that parenting plan in the meantime. And you're going to talk to Ms. Margraf, hopefully, so you kind of negotiate how this works out. If you guys can't find a resolution together, then what will happen is you'll do a notice to set trial so that I can hear evidence, so I can decide for you. And then also during that whole process, like Ms. Ward indicated, she's going to need all new pay stubs and paperwork and all that stuff. So you're going to get all your stuff from that, and you're going to send it to, or take it, personally serve it to the child support office, prosecutor's office, and then you'll personally serve. I think that you and Ms. Margraf would probably serve things via email. Is that accurate? Yep.
We have an arrangement.
So,
yes.
Good. That's perfect. And then you guys can do all of that. So that's what you'll do. In the meantime, if for some reason you think that you don't want to go to trial, but you don't like their negotiations, you could ask for a settlement conference with the settlement judge, which will be someone other than myself, and then you guys can kind of go through that and see if you can get it resolved. If you can't get it resolved, then you're going to do a notice to set for trial, and I'll hear the case for trial. Do you have any other questions? No.
Does Matthew have a preference what 2 weekends of the month he would like?
Matthew, do you have a preference for which weekends of the month that you'd like?
Not at this time. I'm kind of,
Yeah, you've got to be pretty surprised and shocked by all this.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you take that down there and bring that back up, Ms. Margraf. And then you're writing in there the child support thing. Are you going to put in there just the basics that we're going off of parenting plan before you get me a temporary parenting plan in place? Okay, great. Thank you so much. And then I will call my next case.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There was a quick one that Ms. Farr wanted to address, which was the last one on our docket. minor guardianship, the guardianship of Kiwana Mack, cause number is 15, number 2340091506. In that case, mom is no longer in a dangerous situation, is my understanding. And so we need to dismiss the guardianship. Is that accurate? Is anybody even here?
Correct.
Oh, who am I talking to?
Sarah Davis.
Okay, Ms. Davis, will you turn on your camera, please?
I'm trying to. It won't let me do it.
Oh, bummer.
Oh. There we go.
Good job. Okay, can you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Sarah Davis, Davis, and good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well. So Ms. Davis, you were the grandma that was the petitioner?
The guardian of Tiana, yeah.
Okay, and so this is also, you're agreeing that this guardianship can be dismissed at this time because mom's no longer in a dangerous situation?
Correct.
Okay, I will sign an order off docket dismissing the guardianship. Thank you so much for being there for those kids.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, have a great day.
You
All
too.
right. Number 8 of the docket is the backing matter, cause number 21300300606.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good
Mike
morning,
Roll
Mr.
for Josh Backing, the respondent.
Wonderful. Oh, Ms. Jensen, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, this is a motion for temporary orders, is that what this, or for maintenance and, or to go back
Yes,
to
Your Honor,
status quo?
it's a motion for temporary orders to either have a maintenance award entered and or going back to the status quo, Your Honor. This case was filed in March of 21, and the parties since that time have been sharing their expenses and carrying on for almost 2 years, operating out of a joint bank account. And then in June of 2023, husband unilaterally closed that bank account and without any notice to my client. And we are asking the court to reinstate the support that was being provided throughout the pendency of this case until our trial date, which is in November.
And so
we've got
it's coming up quick, so yeah, that makes sense. So, by not giving notice, I think it sounded like he did give notice, but he just basically said he was gonna do it, right? He just did it.
No, he just did it.
Yeah.
There was no like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna close this account. We've been doing this a long time. There was no motion filed with the court. There was nothing. He just,
That's the
after
problem,
2
really,
years.
isn't it? That there was no motion filed with
Close
the
this
court, and the
account.
court had already said you guys can't do anything different, right?
I'm sorry, I'm
Correct.
confused.
But-
I don't believe there's ever been a temporary order in this case other than the original.
The TRO thing that they tell you
Right.
to do, and then no changes besides the normal course of business?
So.
Correct.
That's at the time the order was entered,
Mm-hmm.
right? When she filed.
Oh, I'm confused. Tell me,
Okay.
how am I wrong?
Well, okay. There wasn't that course of dealing at the time they had filed, right? I mean, he had supported her since 2019, and one of the issues you're going to hear ultimately, we filed a motion to amend our response. They alleged the parties moved into separate households.
Right.
Started living separate and apart, which is a separation, in April of 2019.
Right.
Now, he did pay her expenses between April of 2019 and the time she filed for divorce. So that is what she did. I don't believe that original temporary order that's filed, once a case is filed, restrains either party from doing anything, other than there's no obligation for my client to pay.
Well, but he closed the accounts that they were jointly sharing.
No, that's not true. They still have a joint account. Are they recently, Mr. Backey, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but until very recently, they had a joint account. She's been expending funds, he's been paying the bills. That's gone on for over 4 years.
Yeah.
This is an 8-year.
The account was closed in June, by the way. Yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, the account was closed, and we're not here to argue the separation date or him amending his pleadings.
Trying to
The fact of the matter is that since this case was filed, the parties have been sharing expenses out of a joint account, and then husband, in June, unilaterally and without notice to my client, closed that joint account from which those expenses were paid when he knew that we had trial coming up in November. So 5 months before trial, he changes the course of how the parties have been paying their expenses after a 2-year period of time. It's unreasonable, and it's not something that the court should be happy about or accept.
Okay, and thank you. I'm not happy about it, nor do I accept it, but I want to hear from Mr. Rowe.
Okay. So my client's position is pretty simple. They have an 8-year, 9-month marriage.
Okay, wait, I know, I'm gonna stop you really quick. I agree with you that the amount of money that he's expended may equal the amount of maintenance that she would get for, I don't know. I mean, I'll hear that argument later, right? It might be, but for right now, there has been no court order to allow for a change in circumstance. And so what could happen is as we divide everything, or maybe she ends up owing him a payment after we decide what that happens at trial. It's just November. It just seems really crazy that you just cut someone off that's in school, that's, you know, I just seems a little.
So there's no, so let's be clear.
Okay.
There's no school.
Okay.
Right? You're studying on your own to take a test. She's completed everything except the last phase. Why she hadn't done that in the 4+ years they've been separated, I don't know. We can get to that. So our position simply is that we paid enough, and there'll be an accounting,
It's an
right?
8-year marriage, right? You're saying if
8
your
year- 8 or 9
separation,
months.
if your separation date works.
If my separation date is correct.
Yeah.
The date she alleges they moved into separate households.
Yeah.
If that date is accurate,
Yeah.
then, and if it's not, he's still paid 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
Paid 2 years.
so he's paid 4 years.
4 years.
If it goes back to 2019, if it goes to 2021, that's 2 years.
Right.
Okay, for a 8-year, 9-month marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Give me a second with my brain. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Now, she is a licensed physician in Peru.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back to Peru. Is that what you're telling her?
No.
She can't be a physician
She
here.
could, but there are jobs that are available for her here.
Yeah.
Right? And she's certainly educated enough. She has her, a doctorate degree.
Yeah.
She just can't be a U.S. physician yet.
Yeah.
There are positions she could fill.
Right.
Maybe not a phlebotomist, as counsel's responsive declaration points
Yeah.
out, but she can do other things. She's a very bright.
Well, you know where I stand on this, so, but I don't, my problem, Mr. Rowe, is just that this, it shouldn't have happened the way it happened, right?
I appreciate that, yes.
Okay, so why don't we go back to status quo, where it's November?
So the status quo is, there is no status quo,
Right.
because what was it? They're asking for $8,000, which is as much as he makes.
That's crazy.
She's sitting
That's
on
already
four-
crazy, $8,000 is crazy, so what do you wanna do?
She's sitting on $400,000, 420 some.
340, I thought it was.
425, I believe, in her financial declaration.
From the house.
The house sale, and my client paid her $100,000. What he thought was trying to settle the case. Okay? So she has that, she's acknowledged it in her financial declaration. If she wants to spend that down, have at it, we can do the accounting at trial. Then to address the trial issue, I just want to be clear about this, because there's lots of movement going on.
This is not before the court today, the
Well,
trial
okay.
issue.
It may not be,
It's
but
not.
you do need
It's
to
not
hear
before
it,
the court.
because this is a bit of the game playing that's going on, and I think you need to.
Okay, so I think, Ms. Jensen, I'm just, you can tell me, I'll let you still make your objection to me hearing this, but if we're talking about me trying to put your client back into a financially stable position, and I'm saying, well, why not? It's only till November. If we're talking about it's not really only till November, then I think it's probably something I should know, don't you think?
Well, Your Honor, I suppose if the court wants to hear from Mr. Rowe, that's fine, but he started to talk about game playing. If we want to talk about game playing, this case has been out and on the court's radar. We got dates with Judge Cornell. Mr. Rowe was part of that process. We picked a date on that calendar. When his client cut off the bank accounts unilaterally, we filed a motion for temporary orders, and that motion was set before Judge Cornell last week. The day the motion was to be heard, Mr. Rowe files a motion to disqualify Judge Cornell. That means our motion couldn't have been heard, and we then got set with you. Game playing is being done by husband and Mr. Rowe, not by my client. We had that date scheduled, and that was enough time at that point in time. Mr.
Right.
Rowe is now going to tell Your Honor that he doesn't have enough time, that we have too many issues to
Well, that's not what I'm
discuss,
saying.
that date no longer works.
Do you
that
have a
motion
trial
is
date in
set
front of
for
me
November
now, or
November
not?
15th.
November 15th.
Yes, Your Honor, we
Starting
do.
at 10:30.
November 15th.
Yeah.
For one
Correct.
day.
One day.
I can tell you that the cross-examination in this case.
Okay, it's just, I don't even wanna hear about this.
Okay.
Okay, November 15th. Let me see what my rest of my calendar is looking like in November. Oh, it looks awful.
Because if we can address this issue, then the other issues I have to address will go away.
Oh, you guys are in trouble, huh? There's nothing here. So it looks like I can find time for you guys in December. You're right, Ms. Jensen, this trial, it's gonna go longer than November, not much longer. I think we could do something quickly in December. It's obviously Mr. Rowe, so we'll probably be here for 10 days. It's for trial. So, and I do understand your position. So I also understand why Mr. Rowe did the, anyway. So, what your client's asking, Ms. Jensen, we both know is completely unreasonable, right?
Well, Your Honor, I can appreciate why the court might initially see that at first blush. But if you look at the reply declaration that we filed and the historical spending of these parties.
Right, but we
the
don't,
way that
is it Joshua making it, he's not making the same as historically?
He's had a change of employment, an involuntary change of employment, where now we provided his wage stubs.
Right. So Ms. Jensen, talk to me about that.
Well, Your Honor, what I was going to say is, yes, we understand Mr. Backing has had a change of employment, but the way the parties have always operated is that the income would go into the joint account and then they would supplement with the sale of stocks. And they've done that throughout the course of their relationship and throughout the course of this pending case.
Right.
That's how they make the ends meet. So my client's request
So her
is
position
not
is that they should be using these stocks, right?
like they have always done throughout the course of their entire relationship and throughout the course of this case.
Okay,
So my client's
do
request
you
is
think
not
that,
outlandish.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Do you think that Mr.
I'm done, Your Honor.
Backing's not doing his magic with his stocks like he used to because he's,
He doesn't get the grants anymore.
Yeah.
Right, they're spending down what he had been granted
Right.
previously.
what do you have to say about that, Ms. Jensen? You guys have to hurry because I've got drug court and I got lots of people in here still, sorry.
Your Honor, all I'm gonna say is that's probably correct. That I recognize that his new employment doesn't have stocks, but they do have stocks from prior that they've been spending down and they can continue to
How much
spend
is
down
money, how much
for
money
the
do they
next
still
3
have in
months
stocks?
until trial.
How much money do they still have in stocks?
I don't know yet because I haven't gotten updated discovery from Mr. Rowe.
Okay, well, how about if we put all the money in the same pool? So we put the house money in the pool and the money that Mr. Backing already gave his wife, and then he puts all the stocks in the pool, and then we decide how we're gonna spend money from there.
Well, I think that's going against the status quo, Your Honor. Mr. Backing got money from the house.
Oh,
I
okay, tell me
believe,
about
and
that. I'm
so-
sorry, I must have missed that part. How much did he get from the house?
Well, I think when they
didn't get
when
any.
they did the sale,
She got the home sale proceeds in total.
I think that your client actually indicated she was the one that got the proceeds from the sale.
She did.
Your Honor, you're correct. I misspoke.
Okay.
I misspoke. I
Okay.
recalled. She
Um,
got all the home sale proceeds. but
So why
there's
don't we
over
put
$1
all the
million
money in one pot again?
Well, so,
Okay, I know this is a stupid idea.
no,
This
one pot
will
is
get you
overly,
guys to,
is
to make
very,
a
is very
resolution.
simplistic.
Yeah.
Because they're invested in different manners,
Right.
right? So you just can't take them all, liquidate it all, and then stick it here.
Yeah, well, I
Right.
don't mean that. I don't mean to take the stocks and put them all in one
Okay.
pot. I meant in one pot that everyone gets to use from.
Well, the question is then, there's a separate property component
Yeah.
that's an issue. That'll be part of
You
it.
guys didn't have to find a solution. Find a solution for, I'm not doing $8,000 in no way, no how. You're talking about Joshua having enough money to, or having enough, stocks money that to be able to keep paying her a certain amount so they can live above their means still, which still is weird to me. And then,
She has
yeah,
400.
she has her money. So it seems like since it's only December, and I agree, I think this is really wrong what he's done, Ms. Jensen. I'm not trying to allow him to have a benefit of bad behavior because it's bad behavior. But what I am trying to do is, you guys they both have enough money to survive if you don't, you got problems for the next 3 months. And so why can't we do that and then do the accounting later?
Well, Your Honor, I think Mr. Backing should pay some form of monthly support to my client.
Okay, well, you haven't given me a reasonable amount. So I mean, if we were talking about some form plus this thing, I'd say something like $2,000 and we do the accounting later. This $8,000 is just, it doesn't fit his current income.
How about $4,000, Your Honor? How about $4,000?
Sometimes I feel like let's make a deal.
Yeah.
So I think that's a ridiculous request. She could do some kind of work. My client makes $8,000.
Okay, so also, your client allowed her to live in the manner that she lived for the time, and it was a very short period of
Sure.
time, and she didn't get the education that she needed before the time that they separated. That's something he also allowed.
So that's an assumption. I don't think that's accurate,
Okay,
because she
okay,
enrolled
we'll hear
in a
about it at
Catholic.
trial, we'll hear about it at trial.
Okay.
But right now, she just needs to finish this last portion, and then she can get out and get her thing. I mean, we're really lucky in this situation. We've got a person who's actually gonna be educated and not gonna need any money, right? So.
Correct.
$3,000, let's make a deal?
Judge, you wear the black robe, you tell me. I think that $2,000 is sufficient. She has $425,000.
I know, I mean, that is my problem, they both have the spots.
Right.
I would like for everybody to not spend any of their money, well, outside of the thing, so that we can make sure that the money's been distributed fairly, but, I don't know, whatever. We'll do 2,800. So hopefully your
Thank you.
client's not using, I mean, I don't know how you guys made this deal with the house and all that stuff, but hopefully he understands he's not supposed to be using community funds right now.
Unless it's for his necessary expenses,
Well, then-
and there'll be an account. She can use the money she has.
Right.
And we can account for it. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay,
As long as there's an accounting.
okay. Ms. Jensen, is that good for you too? Oh, you're on mute still.
Oops. Yep, sorry. I think I see it a little bit differently. I don't think that my client should have to use community assets for her normal living expenses just because husband decided to cut her off of the account 4 months before trial. But I can appreciate the accounting piece of it as well. So we'll
All right.
do this and I guess move forward.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it's probably good for everybody to realize we got to get back to a reasonable amount of spending. Man, I wish I had that kind of money. $8,000 a month at the top of whatever else I had. That'd be awesome. All right.
Thank you.
You'll do the order, Ms. Jensen. Get it over to Mr. Rowe.
So
Yes, Your Honor.
for a trial date,
Yeah. So I really think you guys. Jen's not back till Monday, but what I see open on my calendar
so I have a week-long trial
in December.
in December in front of Judge Gonzalez
Mhm.
on the, it's a contractor, Terry Bunch is
Okay.
my client.
Okay.
So
It's
that's,
gonna be a while. So what week is that?
I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't have,
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So you probably don't wanna do anything in December is what you're saying?
I can.
Your Honor.
We can report on Monday. I can give her the exact trial dates that I have and.
Right, so the last week of November looks good. So I could do 27th, 28th, 29th, maybe. I mean, then, I go into drug court. Of course, you'll get bumped if I have juvenile trials. So that's one of the
You're-
options. Go ahead, Ms. Jensen.
Can we just leave the date on October 15th and use the time that the court has? Because that was a date that Mr. Rowe was available, and he's filed a notice of unavailability that basically takes him out of commission
Okay,
for
so
almost 6
the
months.
date you have, Ms. Jensen, is November 15th, but it starts after I get done with the juvenile docket and ends before my
10:30.
first bar meet. I mean, you guys got this teeny chunk of time, and you've been to trial with Mr. Rowe before?
No, Your Honor, I have not had the pleasure.
Oh, it's gonna be a treat. So.
I had a good time last time.
Yes, you did. So my problem for you is this: you'll get through pretrial motions for that day. We can keep it. I'll ask that we keep your day. I mean, we're not going to just move it now, but.
So my client's in Georgia,
Mhm.
and you'll have to come out here for this, which is why we think it'll take more than a day, and we'd like to get it
It's gonna
wrapped
take
up.
more than a day just because of the amount of finances that you guys are talking about right now. I mean, we already know that, there's no way it gets done, and this says a day trial, but it's a half day, basically.
And the problem is that, so I noted her deposition for next week.
Right.
They said they're not available.
All right, well, this is what we're doing right now, I'm just telling
Okay.
you guys, we're done,
All
we're
right.
done talking to each other.
Okay.
So November 15th is still on the books, I gave you the week of the 27th, November 27th, looks like I could get you 3 days in a row on top of that, cause you're gonna need it, so you guys just start, I'm not gonna block it out, cause but just get in touch with Jennifer Gibson Smith. Ms. Jensen, I'm not saying we have to move your trial date. I can keep that date open for you, but there's no way you're getting trial done in that period of time, and Mr. Backing has to fly back here for the trial. So either he can do that first day via Zoom, which I'm sure Mr. Rowe's gonna object to, or, we're gonna have to find some other dates.
So my problem is that, so the discovery in this case,
Yeah, there's gonna be more stuff. You guys will be back here and continue.
so
Yeah,
we were supposed to have a CR26I conference
right.
on
We
Wednesday.
don't have to talk about any of this, because
No,
I've got drug court. Listen, this is what I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
it's not,
Your
But the-
client,
you have
not
no
before the
docket for me to
court.
come in on to compel her.
I will get you, I'll get you a special set.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
promise you a
Perfect.
special, 8:30 special set.
Perfect.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Um,
the discovery's not even due yet.
Okay, it's
Mr.
fine.
Rowe
We
was
don't
trying to
have to
have
even
a
talk about
conference.
any of this, because you guys
Okay.
have got
Okay.
everything you need worked out. And then we'll see each other soon.
Very good, thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
Thank you, you too.
You too.
Next case. Cromwell? Wait, no, Ackerman. Wait, no. 9. Number 9. What number is that? Smith? Cause number 21301844906. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Not too terrible.
So you're Brenton,
I am.
and Misty's not here. Misty, are you here?
She is not.
And I saw that you wrote on the paper that looks like there's her signature that she joined this.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's all good.
She's
It's
all
weird
good.
that she's not gonna show up for this, don't you think?
No.
Because she's just embarrassed, or because of what she's
A
going
little
through?
bit of everything.
Uh-huh.
She's embarrassed. I know that. I don't know all the circumstances that she's dealing with. I've kept her in the loop on all this. I've spoken to her.
And you guys are getting along well still?
Oh, it's very amicable.
Yeah, okay.
It's just an unsafe environment
I
currently.
agree. Okay, so you filed a motion for modification adequate cause on July 26, 2023. That was a major modification that's requested because Misty was the one with children.
No, she only had every other weekend.
Oh.
I have had custody since
Oh,
divorce.
you asked for a major mod though. That's weird.
Oh, sorry.
You don't know what you're doing.
No clue.
Yeah. Right now, all we're doing is saying there's to be no contact, right?
I am okay with contact.
Tell me exactly what you want.
So what I'm wanting is the visitation stopped until treatment is provided
With him.
with him.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure it's safe over there.
Right.
I am not trying to take away the
So
child.
but basically what you're saying is what you really want is for there to be no contact with the child with this person.
Yes,
So as
and
long as she does visits like going to hotels or anything like that, she could still have her visits, right?
As long as I can trust that he wouldn't be there. And we've had an open door policy. She is perfectly fine coming over to our house, see the child.
Yeah.
She's had that opportunity. She's seen him 25 minutes in the past 12 weeks.
Is she using too?
That's an assumption, but I don't have proof.
All right, so this is the case. Let me put some stuff on the record here. First, Mr. Smith, if you could state your full name and spell your last name.
Brenton Smith, SMITH.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings today?
I do.
All right, you filed for a modification on 7/26/2023. Is that accurate?
Yes.
You filed for this because mom is currently with a partner who is significantly has substance use issues.
Yes.
And is behaving irrationally and violent and inappropriately.
Yes.
Okay. And so I'm granting adequate cause based on that. And so our temporary plan before we get a full new parenting plan right now will be that Misty is not allowed to have the child around, what's his name again?
Justin Olson.
Justin Olson. And so her parenting time is subject to that. Oh, you think there might be other issues as well, and that's why she's not here and the child's been there for 20 minutes. So there's to be no parenting time with Misty unless it's supervised by dad.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna give you, my Madam Clerk's gonna give you a piece of paper.
Okay.
And you're gonna write what I just said down on that, and then you're gonna come back up here and I'll sign. And you put the title of your case and everything on there. I just found it on there. All right. Good job, Mr. Smith. Good job. I really appreciated reading the way you guys jointly did all this. That was, when you saw what normally happens.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, I'll get back to you. All right. That was number 9. Do we have 10 to go? I've lost my docket pieces. For sure. All right. Oh, there you go. Thank you. All right, you guys are here. Is Mr. Roberge on the case?
She was here a minute ago. Oh, there she is.
Your Honor.
Okay,
I'm
wonderful.
here.
Thank you. So this is about choosing a school. Dad wants Portland Christian. Mom says raising the child, dad's raising the child with under the influence of too much religion, and he's with grandparents and they're super religious, and she says it's too much. I want to know. And then I was super confused by this history, the history of mom. Like, is there a history of child abuse? Is that I'm confused? No. Ms. Jones.
No.
Okay.
Child abuse.
The
Your
history,
Honor, the guardian ad litem is Robin, on with us.
Yeah, she's here.
too.
I can see her. Thank you.
Your Honor, Robin Jones.
Miss Jones, give me you give me your neutral.
There isn't a limitation on mom. There was a criminal, there was an allegation by dad that the child, who was about 4 at the time, was injured by a cousin. And that went through a complete review at the Children's Justice Center. It did take quite a while. There was no charging decision by the prosecutor's office.
Okay,
Did I
and
get
so
it right, you guys?
go ahead.
well, I mean, the statement from the office was that the alleged perpetrator was too young to prosecute. So that's what ended up happening. There was a protective order in place for a year, Your Honor.
There was no findings on anything.
Okay, that's good.
So
that information's not helping me make a decision right now, Mr. Gazzola. So what I'm saying to you then is, what's mom's parenting time currently?
The parties are sharing the child equally, Your Honor.
Great.
Week on, week off. That was a decision you made a couple months ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I thought I recognized you people. So he says, so we have a couple of things. Dad's currently refusing counseling. Is that right?
No, Mom is.
Mom's currently refusing
No,
counseling.
Mom isn't.
No, I'm not.
They need to agree, Your Honor, they need to agree on a counselor. We're working through it. I hope Mr. Gonzola and I can come to some resolution that we don't have to come back to court. But
Okay, that
that's
sounds
been
good.
in the process
So
right
today,
now.
all you
it's
guys
the
want me to do is
school.
choose a school.
Yes.
And on that, Your Honor, you're right. My client would like the child to go to Portland Christian. That's the school that basically he's been attending as a preschool, and so it would be flowing into there. That's where he's got friends and that sort of thing. The school, the public school that is would feed from his is a place called Woodlawn. I sent some information on that. It's not a very highly rated
I thought it
school.
was Fairview. I thought what I read was Fairview.
Fairview is the one that I suggested. They'll create a bus stop for Charlie. It's walking distance from his father, and it's actually the highest rated in
It is
our
very
school
highly rated
district.
school. I mean, I just know this from living in the area.
I talked to Reynolds School District yesterday, and Fairview Elementary is not the feeder for our address. Woodland is. It's a quarter mile away. Fairview Elementary is over a mile away, and they would place him in Woodland based on our address.
No, I called and I talked to the transportation department.
Okay, oh, this is
They
an
would
easy fix,
create their
guys.
own
This is an
bus
easy fix.
stop.
Look at, what we can do is we can say, is the kid can go to Fairview, because Dad's saying, hey, I'm fine with Fairview, but the kid can't go to Fairview. If the kid could go to
Dad
Fairview, then we can go
did
ahead and
not
do
say
Fairview.
that, Your Honor. Dad did not say he's fine with Fairview.
Well, then why
Dad
is he
said
arguing
it's
about
gonna be-
whether or not he can go to Fairview? If he's, if it's, I mean, it doesn't
If
matter,
it's
it
gonna
doesn't
be
matter
a-
to him.
If it's going to be a public school, Dad prefers Woodlawn, which is a school that feeds from a residence of one of the two of these people. Ms. Clark does not live in the area that would allow the child to go to Fairview.
I live 4
and
minutes
accept-
away from Matthew. I live 4 minutes away from Matthew.
Your
It's two
address
stop
is in the Wilkes. Your address is in the
Woodlawn
Hey guys,
would
stop
be the
talking, stop
public-
talking, stop talking. Hey, okay, so Dad's saying he'll do public school as long as it's Woodlawn.
No, that's not what I said. I still want him to go to
Dad,
Portland.
Mr. Bashore, let me try to say this.
I
So,
understand what's
Dad,
happening here, Mr. Gazzola. I'm not silly, I'm not stupid. He wants Portland Christian. And
Exactly,
mom's
but if it's gonna be a
opposed-
public
mom's-
school-
Mom's opposed to a religious education. And the dad, who has every right to have his religion and raise his child in a manner that goes from his belief system, but it doesn't necessarily mean, since they get joint decision making on school, doesn't mean he gets to choose that not only on Sundays but also every day of the week. that this child gets to have the same religious upbringing that he wants. So,
And that's,
how much
and that's
does this
why we're
Portland
gonna,
Christian cost?
Portland
Mr.
Christian costs $8,000 a year, and I have said that I would pay for it each
Right.
year, no
So
problem.
Nicole, okay, thank you so much. Nicole, this is interesting to me. You know Portland Christian's a great school. Is it, I mean, I know you're opposed because of the religious
wouldn't
aspect
tour it.
to it, but most
I
people.
wouldn't tour it.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I wouldn't tour it and everything. And my only thing is they don't teach any kind of science, evolution, anything like that. There's no
Is that okay,
other
all right,
kind
Nicole,
of
give me a
religion.
second. Is that
taught.
accurate? Is that? Give me a second, Mr. Boshar. Is that accurate?
They do teach science, and when he gets to high school, they will teach the theory of evolution.
Okay.
They don't
So-
teach
No.
that in kindergarten.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's learning that in
talked to the
kindergarten.
superintendent.
Hey, Ms.
I
Clark,
talked to the
Ms. Clark,
superintendent.
I'll ask you to speak. I'm trying to move us through this. What I want to say to you is this. I
I
mean,
know
I'm
you-
not going to put I'm not going to put my values on you. But what I will say to you is, man, if my kid could go to Portland Christian and then get fed into Central Catholic or something like that, God, I'd be so happy. And especially when someone else is paying the bill, because that means that kid's going to a great college. But you're saying, despite all that, you're super concerned about this religious thing. So I'm going to listen to you, but I think this is not a good decision necessarily. Financially, you're not paying. Your kid goes to a school that's going to feed into some of the best Portland schools that we have. And so it's like, seems like you might want this. It seems weird to me that you wouldn't want this. I mean, because you get to teach evolution as much as you want to a kindergarten at home. You know, I'm not, but I also agree if it's too much religion, then we'll do public school. But I want to make sure you're making the right decision here for you, your kid and you, because this is a fair amount of money you'll save on college even if we go down this track.
So I understand what you're saying, and I totally appreciate what you're saying. It's just Charlie. He lives with his dad and his grandparents, and it is all day, every day. They have posters on their house. They have little sticky notes everywhere. It's just everywhere is religion, religion, religion,
All right.
religion.
Kid goes to Woodlawn. Kid goes to Woodlawn. Yeah, Mr. Bosher, what? Go ahead.
My dad's a pastor, so that would be quite obvious for our house to be that
Yeah,
way.
that makes
and I
sense
don't
to
think
me.
that's.
That
I don't
makes-
think that's.
Ms.
out
Jones,
of-
did you have something you
out
wanted to
of
say?
character.
So, Your Honor, I did quite a bit of research on all of the schools. I spent a considerable amount of time talking with Portland Christian so that I could encourage Ms. Clark to give that a good look. I believe that Portland Christian is probably a good option. However, there has been a lot of independent or unilateral decision-making by dad.
Yeah.
One thing I might propose is that mom could pick the mental health counselor, dad can pick the school. However, there needs to be arrangements made so that the child can be picked up in the afternoons when mother is at work, and that's one of the sticking issues. And perhaps the attorneys can
I
fight through
changed
that.
my schedule. I changed my schedule. I make my own schedule.
Okay, I got drug court. So, do you not? So, Nicole, are you saying you don't like this split the baby approach?
The what? I'm sorry.
You choose counselor, dad choose school.
No, I don't like that.
Okay.
And I changed my schedule so I can pick him up from school no matter what, and take him.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Your
that's
Honor,
not
I
that's
just-
not the issue here. I mean, we're trying to we're trying. We've got decision making to make here, Nicole. So
I think he has enough religion day to day and church and everything that he doesn't need to go to it.
All right, I
every day.
agree with you. If that's your stance, Mr. Bouchard, go.
Your Honor, can I just make
No, let's let your client speak real quick because I'm getting done with you guys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Portland Christian has 100% graduation completion, and
Miss
95% of
Matthew,
their students
Matthew,
go to college
You
and
don't,
graduate.
Matthew. You don't have to tell me any of this. If you would pay for my kid to go to Portland Christian, I would give you my kid. So,
Your
I
Honor,
mean,
I feel like I
honestly,
need
it's a
to say
great
one
school.
thing.
It doesn't make any sense to me why Nicole, but it does make sense to me. Nicole's saying all day, every day, your kid's being sucked into something that she doesn't necessarily believe in. I don't think that's fair for us to use, when we're doing value based. So that's all I'm saying. She can't seem to separate herself from it, and maybe hopefully next year she'll come around and she realizes like this kid's education could be just like off the charts. Because I don't go to church, Nicole,
Not
but my
just
kids would be going to Portland Christian. What was that?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a comment too about the fact was going to the public school. He would be going to school with his neighbors.
Okay, I already made the decision. You always do this, Ms. Roberge. Kids going to public school. Got it.
So, Your Honor, can I just make
Your
one
Honor.
last statement for the record?
Yeah, please, make your record. It's 11:02, I was
Thank you.
supposed to be in court 11 o'clock. Go ahead.
I understand. So Ms. Clark told my client that he could pick the school if he would have told his son that nothing happened while the child was in her care.
Yeah, that's stinky.
He stated that in his
I don't know if that's
declaration,
true or not, but that
and
doesn't,
she did not
that
deny it.
information does not help me make my
He did
decision.
not-
That information
she
does
did
not help me.
deny that.
Matthew,
So
I'm done with you
That's not
guys.
true.
I've already made my
I
decision.
just needed to make that statement, Your Honor. So Woodlawn it is. I understand. I'll
Yeah.
prepare an order. And are you going to rule on counseling, or what are we going to do on that?
Did you guys both send me, your
They've not responded. They did not respond to the counseling request. I
Mr.
proposed.
Gazzola, you send me your threes. Nicole, you send me your threes, and then I'm gonna choose.
I sent my 3 to Robin already.
All right, then they could just come
I'll
to
send
me.
them.
All right, thanks,
Yep.
guys. Have a great weekend.
Do we have a date?
Thank
date
you.
for- All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah. You could just email that to Jennifer Gibson Smith. I don't think it's gonna be that difficult. All right.
All right, we'll do it.
All
About the
right, what do I
counseling,
got
we'll
next
do it,
here?
Your Honor.
Number,
Thank you.
Vergara and Moreno. I thought we needed an interpreter. There was actually one present. Do we need one? Sir, come on up. 22300996606. This is
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Quinn. I saw him start.
Honor.
Hi, good morning.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Mr. Quinn, you were the one that cited this on. Is that accurate?
Su señoría, señor Quinn, usted fue el que citó este caso el día de hoy, sí, señoría.
Correcto.
So the reason it was cited on is I really did this out of a courtesy request of Commissioner Hayes.
Yeah.
La razón por la cual cité este caso es porque estaba haciendo este asunto como una cortesía y a solicitud de la comisionada Hayes.
We were before her for entry of final orders on July 19th.
Nos presentamos ante ella para la presentación de las órdenes finales en julio 19.
I'm going to interrupt you really quick, Mr. Quinn.
Le voy a interrumpir rápidamente, señor Quinn.
My understanding is that Commissioner Hayes would not sign off on the orders.
Tengo entendido que la comisionada Hayes no pudo firmar estas órdenes.
Because Mr. Vergara Asario did not actually file the appropriate service paperwork.
Puesto que el señor Vergara Osorio no presentó, no radicó los papeles del servicio de notificación
Is that
oficial
accurate?
correctamente. ¿Es esto cierto?
¿De cuáles,
Probably. And we-
¿De cuáles documentos me habla?
What documents are you talking about?
So what happened was you were supposed to serve the person, and you're supposed to have a list of the things that you served the person.
Usted se supone que tenía que notificarle a la contraparte con la lista de los documentos que usted le estaba enviando.
And therefore your notice to this person fails.
Y por lo tanto, el aviso que debía darle a esta persona no se cumplió.
So we can't do a default, grant default.
Así que no podemos proceder con una concesión automática por incumplimiento
When we don't know if this person actually had all the documents in front of them that they needed to have.
cuando no tenemos conocimiento que esta persona haya recibido todos los documentos que necesitaba tener.
So for all we know, this person received just you saying that they have to be in court, but not what for.
Podemos asumir o decir que la persona recibió un citatorio simplemente para venir al tribunal sin tener ni idea a qué vendría.
Do you have contact with this person?
¿Usted tiene contacto con esta persona?
No.
How did you get the person served then?
Entonces, ¿cómo pudo notificarle a la otra persona?
Le hice llegar unos documentos con una amiga mía
Hay,
de lo que me dieron en la corte que le hiciera llegar.
So I sent some documents with a friend of mine with the documents I got from the court.
Okay, so you know where this person is then?
Entonces usted sabe quién es esa persona.
Ziara.
Sí.
Ziara.
Sí.
So you could have, you do have contact with this person. You can have contact with this person.
O sea, ¿usted puede tener contacto con esta persona o tiene contacto con esta persona?
No.
Why?
¿Por qué?
Porque desde que nos separamos, ya no tuvimos contacto por cuando ella se mudó con su nueva pareja, ya no tuvimos comunicación.
Because since separation, we had no longer any contact because she moved out with her new partner, so we had no communication.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you, Alfredo. The problem is you haven't done proper service. I'm not going to go through over this with you.
Okay, no quiero repetir esto, Alfredo, pero sí quiero decirle que no se hizo de manera apropiada el servicio de notificación.
She needs to be personally served with the appropriate amount of time.
Ella tiene que recibir estos documentos dentro de un tiempo apropiado.
And we have to know exactly what she was served with.
Y también el tribunal tiene que saber exactamente los documentos que se le hicieron llegar a ella.
This fails.
Hasta que usted no pueda hacer esto de la manera apropiada, pues este asunto no va a resultar.
The scary thing about default is that we don't know whether or not the other person really wanted to participate, and we can't tell from the way that you've done this.
Entonces, el asunto preocupante aquí es que no podemos conceder algo automáticamente o por incumplimiento porque no tenemos conocimiento de lo que sabe o no la otra persona.
Mr. Quinn, do I have this accurate?
Señor Quinn, ¿todo lo que he dicho es correcto?
It appears the judge also made or commission made the observation that in particular she was concerned about the proposed parenting plan document that was filed after the default.
Right.
Sí. Tal parece, según las notas que tengo aquí, la comisionada estaba preocupada respecto al plan de crianza que se presentó después de este asunto.
Do you understand what that he's saying? There's a parenting plan that was filed, which clearly could not have been filed at the time that you said that you served this default.
Porque existe un plan de crianza que usted no podría o no habría tenido para presentarle a la contraparte para concederle este asunto por incumplimiento.
Yo le hice llegar unos documentos que me dieron en la corte y se los mandé a ella en aproximadamente como 4 meses o más.
So,
okay. So the documents I got in court, I sent them to her, and it's been like maybe 4 months or more since then.
Okay. Well, so did you let her know about this hearing as well?
Pero usted también le notificó y le hizo saber acerca de esta audiencia?
No, de la audiencia no.
No, not about the hearing.
Okay, so this is what
I did.
Go ahead, Mr. Quinn.
I believe I sent notice to her of this. I'm just quickly.
Señor Quinn, sí creo, señoría, que yo le envié información del citatorio de la audiencia de hoy. Estoy mirando.
Yeah, I believe I sent notice to both of them for this hearing today. Yeah.
Que yo les envié citatorios a los dos para la audiencia de hoy.
I see a notice of hearing here. I don't see that she received it or knows what it's about. It says the purpose of the hearing is entry of final orders and parenting plan, but I don't.
Veo que está el citatorio, pero no que ella supiera entonces de qué se iba a tratar este asunto.
Sir, what's the current parenting? How are you currently parenting?
Señor, ¿cuáles son los planes, el plan de crianza establecido que están siguiendo en este momento?
Pues simplemente yo quería que compartiera tiempo conmigo o que me dejara verla porque no me deja ver a mi hija.
I would like to share or have time with my daughter because she has not allowed me to see her.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say to you. There's no way that she received these documents, else she'd be here fighting you.
Dice, no, lo que yo le estoy tratando de decir es que realmente ella no recibió estos documentos, de otra manera estaría aquí para refutar lo que usted está pidiendo.
She's currently the one parenting. You have a right to parent as well.
En este momento ella es la madre o la encargada de ser madre principal, pero usted también tiene el derecho de ser padre.
But there's no way she's not going to show up to a hearing where you're taking away her parenting time.
Pero realmente no hay manera que ella sepa que lo que usted quiere hacer de quitar el tiempo que ella tiene con la hija y por no estar aquí.
Believing that she has these documents.
Sí, realmente a mí me queda difícil creer que ella tenga esos documentos o conocimiento de esto.
What I would like for you to do to make this easier
Y lo que me gustaría que usted hiciera para facilitar las cosas
is to get all the documents that you have filed in this case.
Que usted reúna todos los documentos que ha radicado relacionado con este caso
And pay for a process server.
Y le pague a una persona para que haga el servicio, la entrega oficial de estos documentos.
And to have her served that way so we can know that she received all the documents she needed to have.
Y entonces hacer el servicio de notificación de esta manera para asegurarnos de que ella tenga todos los documentos que va a necesitar.
You need the 60 days, so I'm going to put you on my docket.
Necesitamos los 60 días, así que lo voy a programar en mi calendario.
For November, that's a holiday.
Para noviembre, un momento es festivo.
November 17th.
Para el 17 de noviembre.
Sir, you have an absolute right to have parenting time with that child.
Señor, quiero decirle que usted tiene definitivamente derecho a pasar tiempo con su hija.
But I want to make sure this is done correctly.
Pero quiero asegurarme que todo se haga de la manera apropiada.
So get all the documents that you filed in this case.
Así que, por favor, reúne todos los documentos que ha presentado en este caso.
Pay a process service to serve her these paperwork so we can know that she got these papers.
Y entonces págale a una persona para que haga el servicio de notificación oficial y de esa manera estar seguros que ella ha sido notificada apropiadamente.
And if she doesn't show up to court after that, I will grant your default.
Después de seguir estos pasos, si ella no se presenta, entonces puedo concederle por incumplimiento a usted lo que está solicitando.
Mr. Quinn, did you have something you wanted to add?
Señor Quinn, ¿tiene algo más que agregar?
No, just to confirm, Your Honor, we did send it to both of them, the notice for today, but I think we sent it to the address that was in Father's proof of service that he filed in May, but we don't know about that address other than that's the one he put in.
Yeah, this is not, something's not right here.
Solamente quiero confirmar que sí, de hecho enviamos los citatorios a ambas partes y utilizamos la dirección que había proporcionado el padre en el comprobante de notificación anterior.
Okay, I'll see you back here on November 17th. Make sure you get that served with the right amount of time that you need, so get it started right away.
Así, señor, entonces nos volvemos a ver en noviembre 17. Por favor, asegúrese de hacer todo esto y hacer el servicio de notificación apropiadamente.
Una pregunta, ¿necesito hacerle llegar los primeros documentos que le hice llegar o solamente los que...
All of them.
All of them?
Yes.
Necesito hacerle llegar, okay, I got all confused, Your Honor. What's your Spanish? Necesito.
All right.
Only the last documents or the first you say all, right, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sí, todos los primeros y los últimos, todos.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
Muy bien, señor,
All
que
right, we're
tenga
number
buen
13,
día.
the Ackerman case, and Rosengreen, 23208476606. The add-on, thank you. Awesome, I appreciate that. Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Were you able to get service at all on this?
I've served everybody. Victoria, who's on the thing. The only way I was able to serve her is her brother had to text her because her email didn't work, no address known.
Right. Okay,
So,
state your full name for the record, please. And spell your
Cynthia
last name.
Ackerman, Ackerman.
Do you swear affirm to tell the truth these proceedings here today?
I do.
Thank you. Victoria, if you'd please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Victoria Rosengreen.
Spell your last name.
So my last name, okay, it's
Green.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm
Sorry,
to
it's
tell the
hard
truth?
to hear, Your Honor. Yeah, I wasn't raising my hand.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings today?
Yes.
Great. Ms. Farr, what have you done so far?
I am just in the beginning stages of this case, and I've only scheduled the interview with the petitioner.
Okay, great. All right, so Victoria, I gave, you're the mother of
Bryson.
Bryson, right? And so you understand there's a guardianship in place right now, right?
Yes, and I sent, well, my mom sent it for me to the court. I wrote a letter saying I'm objecting to my grandma's request.
Yeah, that's great. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to appoint you an attorney for the next hearing regarding the guardianship, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds like you've been causing quite a little ruckus, though, in the meantime, and that's not going to work out really well for you. You understand that, right?
Me?
Was it
You're talking about
was
me?
it grandma?
Great grandma.
Great grandma. So was it your daughter?
That's my
Who
daughter.
came to the house? You said in your in the protection order declaration it said someone came to the house and was acting. What's this the wrong one?
Oh, in the protection order, no, that all happened at Washington Square Mall.
Okay.
Where there's a police report.
Right. So
Yeah.
who was the perpetrator in that?
Victoria.
Victoria, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, it wasn't your house, but Victoria was acting a fool, and then so we had all this other stuff happen, and this is while Grandma's got guardianship. So Grandma asked for a protection order on that part, and so we brought that in here with the guardianship right now. So that's why we're all here today. Go ahead, Victoria.
Yeah, thank you so much, Your Honor. So I never got I wasn't aware of any police called or restraining order. I was not aware of any of.
So Victoria,
these
can I
things
ask you a
happening.
question? What did you think was going on with your son during that time?
Well, it was his birthday, and I came over to Washington.
No. What I'm trying to talk to you about is this. If you had no idea that there was anything going on, why weren't you parenting? Why did you have to go to the mall to see your child?
So I was living in Spokane, Washington. The goal was to go get him on his birthday and bring him back home because it was only temporary guardianship. And so we went to can you close that door? Sorry, I'm at work. So then we went for his birthday to Big Al's, and we had a great time and everything. And then the next day he wanted to go to Build-A-Bear, and he had gift cards and stuff, so we went there. And so when we were there, he threw a major fit about he didn't want to pick any of the Build-A-Bears there. And I kind of just talked him through it. He just continued with a really extreme outburst of
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off.
behavior.
I'm so sorry. My problem I have is not your fault. I hate when people are at the end of my docket and I'm out of time. So what I'm gonna tell you is, I don't need to hear the whole ordeal. The whole point to me was that you have not been parenting, which is not, I'm not judging you, I'm just telling you, this is something that has been ongoing. And so, great grandma's been helping out here right now because of whatever issues are going on in your guys' family. And then, I signed that initial order. And so what I want you to understand, when I sign for a guardianship, what I want is the parent, you, to be able to have time with your child. So we need to make time for you to have visitation. Well, we can't have stuff like this thing that happened. That stuff can't be happening because then you won't have visitations. You understand?
Yes, definitely on.
Okay, so let's
Your
talk
Honor,
about a
what-
way to get you some parenting time that doesn't include you acting crazy.
Yes, I definitely want visitation and counseling for rehabilitation and reconciling with my son. And I just want to point out the accusations are false and they are very old. My mom is in the courtroom right now, and she offered to pay for a mediator and help, and my grandma refused these services. I've been trying to contact my son for a very long time, ever since he landed in Vancouver, Washington, and I see that you got my letter.
I didn't get your letter. I'm sorry. In fact, this whole thing is kind of messy because they didn't have the guardianship portion on this in this court today. We just found it at the last minute, so that's why we're dealing with it right now. It should have been on here.
Oh.
So-
Okay. So yeah.
So, but let me talk. I'm going to talk, not you. So what I'm trying to say to you is, right now we're not going to resolve all of the issues. I've already talked to grandma and got a lot of information, great grandma, when I say grandma. And for the information that I've received so far may not be accurate, right? May not be accurate. So, but seems like likely, since she was the one that had to take care of this child, that it probably was accurate, but I'm just leaving it like that, yes. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave it there. But Ms. Farr, you see who's on the screen here, she's our court visitor. So she's going to do an investigation into all of this, and then she's going to get back and give me a report and let me know what's really been going on, and she does a really good job of that. So when she contacts you, you better make sure you talk to her. She'll talk to grandma, and she'll talk to great-grandma, and she'll talk to Bryson, because we know Bryson's 9 years old, and he can talk to her, and he'll know exactly where he's been staying for the last 4 years. So that's going to be a thing. And so we'll deal with all that later, though. We don't have to deal with that now. Now, where are you living right now, Victoria?
I'm in the state of Hawaii.
Where?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Oh, so you're going to have a hard time parenting from there. Makes sense.
Again, this was only supposed to be temporary.
All right. Spokane was temporary, then Hawaii. I got it. All right. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to extend the minor guardianship. And so since you're in Hawaii, do you think it might be better for us to set up some Zoom calls so great grandma can get you on to have some Zoom calls with him or some FaceTime time?
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay. So what times would be good times? You got a significant time difference there. I don't know what this is.
I thought about it. I'm off on weekends. I try calling, when I'm off.
So I don't want, this is what we're doing. I'm going to be very concrete, and it's going to sound like I'm mean and harsh, but I just don't have any time for this. To like listen to this stuff. I want to know, I want you to tell me what time on what days you want to make sure that grandma can get Bryson ready for a FaceTime.
Anytime on Saturday and Sunday, like around 9 o'clock your guys' time, to whatever time.
Okay, so grandma, what time works for you from that area that she said that? And she's 9, so we're going to give him an hour. He probably won't use the whole hour.
Right. Saturdays at 9 o'clock is fine.
9 a.m. or 9 p.m.?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Great, we got that. That's really early for you, though, isn't it, Victoria? You're going to wake up that early?
It's really
Doesn't
early
seem
for
like
Bryson.
something that you would...
I go to work that early.
Okay, all right, so just know, since it's Saturday... If it's Saturday, Bryson will have played video games the night before. He's going to be super tired when he talks. He's not going to be such a fun person to hang out with. But we'll start with that. Saturdays and Sundays at 9. Okay?
Yes.
That's what we're doing for parenting. And then we're going to set another court date. In the meantime, you guys will have a chance to talk to Ms. Farr, and then we'll be able to see what we're going to do next. Your great grandma, filed a petition to emergency petition for minor guardianship, so that's a temporary order, right? She also filed the petition to appoint a minor guardian, which is still temporary in nature in the way that we like to think about them here in the courts. It makes sure that when somebody's not parenting because they're in Spokane or Hawaii or just kind of doing their own thing, that someone else is taking care of them until that person can get their stuff together. So once you get your stuff together, the intention is to make sure you have that time back. I want you to also know, though, since you've been gone so long, poor Bryson, he's going to be super confused. So we're going to want to get him into some counseling, and you're probably going to do some reunification. But Ms. Farr is going to be the one that makes some suggestions for that for us. But the reality is, you just haven't been parenting. So the last time I saw you, where was that? Was on
July 31st.
I think it was
August 3rd.
August 3rd. Okay.
August 3rd. So when would these visitations start?
This weekend, is it okay, or do you have plans already?
I don't have plans, but how are they going to start? I mean, the problem is when Victoria has called in the past, he doesn't want to talk on a phone.
Yeah.
You're on.
And
go ahead.
And he doesn't like remote like this.
Yeah.
I mean, like I had him in
It's stinky.
counseling.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't know how. I mean, I've never refused Bryson. Just so you understand that, I've never refused him to talk to his mother.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't.
Oh.
Now he'll talk to his little sister.
Yeah.
She has a little girl, so he'll talk to her.
Yeah, well,
But-
it's because it's a very confusing thing when your mom's living somewhere else and she's not seeing you. So yeah,
Yeah.
that we're gonna try to get that fixed because mom's saying she wants to be a mom now.
Sure. And for them to say, I've refused, that's not exactly
I
true.
don't believe that.
No, because,
Anyways, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm putting you back on to the October 27th date. We're probably all full up right now. And so we're gonna come back on at that time. That will give Ms. Farr an opportunity to get through a lot of her investigation. She may need more time, but she'll be at least be able to give me some updates. We'll check on how often Mom's able to talk to Bryson. Just get him on the phone so she can see that you're trying to do that, right? And then she understands that this is they're gonna have to work at this relationship because it's been a bit. So she's not gonna be able to accuse you of anything. Just hand him the phone, say hi, and if she can keep him on the phone, she can. If he doesn't want to stay on the phone, he's not going to. He's 9. So I've signed an order that's extended this minor guardianship to October 27th, the date that we'll see each other again. And
Your Honor, would you happen to have October 20th available? Because I am not available on the 27th.
I think that I'm not available on the 20th. Nope, I'm.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Oh wait.
Or the.
Oh wait. Oh no, we've canceled. My docket's canceled that day. I think. Yeah.
Your Honor,
I could do the 13th.
I could do. Let's do November 3rd.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Your Honor,
Ma'am?
I just had a request. For the Saturday phone calls, is it okay if my son is somewhere else, not near my grandma? Because every time I call, she starts talking for him, and I can't really get a one-on-one interaction.
That sounds good. That sounds good. So Grandma's gonna give Bryson the phone, and she's gonna leave the room. That's what she's gonna do, and she's not gonna come back. So if Bryson decides he sets that phone down because he doesn't want to talk to you, that's just gonna be for you to handle because Grandma's not gonna be there. Got it?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. And I just have one more question.
Yep.
Is it if my mom can speak on my behalf?
Can your mom what?
Can my mom speak on my behalf right now?
Okay, come on up. I don't have much of time. I don't know what you want to say to me. State your full name and spell your last name for the record.
So I did, Nina Rosengreen.
Spell your last name.
Rosengreen.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings today?
Yes.
Great. You probably dropped something off. I didn't get it because
Yes.
this thing wasn't docketed for
Yes,
today.
I did.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. That doesn't help me make a decision today. Is what I'm trying to say to you. So
I
what
feel
do
like
you want me to know?
I feel like it might. I just feel like she's not being represented properly, and her rights have not been.
Well, she's got an attorney. I just appointed one for her. So.
I know, that's amazing.
It's a wonderful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. That is amazing.
It's great. I will say it's hard. It's a hard argument to make when Grandma's had this child for so long.
Although what my daughter has been saying is her rights have been violated
Okay.
as a parent,
All
and so you have been. There, I'm just
Well,
saying.
she could have come into court.
She didn't know about it.
She didn't know.
We all just
She
found out
didn't know
about
that
this
there was a
on
guardianship. That's weird. So that means she didn't know Grandma had the child.
She did. She didn't know there was court dates.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is this. In the meantime, what Victoria could have done, without ever there being a guardianship, is get her child back because she had an absolute right to have the child.
She's been trying.
No, yeah, she is trying, but she didn't get it. So this is the thing. To villainize the person who's been taking care of the child this whole time is ridiculous. She hasn't been parenting. Don't enable her. Let's get her to start parenting.
Yes, we're doing
let's
that.
do it. Her
We're
rights
doing
have
it.
not been violated.
We're doing
She's
it.
chosen. You know whose rights have been violated? Bryson, who doesn't have his mom
Yes.
around.
Absolutely.
So, here we go.
I agree with you.
All right, well, appoint attorney off docket. I'll see you guys back here on November 3rd. Victoria, I hope that you are going to be a participant in this. Right now, what you should know, in case you decide to come back to Vancouver, you're not allowed any in-person contact right now with Bryson until we get till our next court date. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. And then we'll go from there. Grandma's going to do her best to make sure Bryson's talking to you and getting on that phone, and then we could talk about some counseling too if you want to get to that. So. Not
Yeah,
today.
which I've had him in.
Yeah.
And he has Dr. Lamb, who is a child psychiatrist.
Yeah. Mhm.
I've had him seeing him. And I did talk to Dr. Lamb yesterday to prepare him
Yeah, to
for
start
the
back
next
up.
time he met with
Good.
Bryson. And he said if the court needed anything from him, he's willing to to testify for
That
us.
sounds wonderful. That's good. So then, when Ms. Farr contacts you, make sure you get her all that information that you just gave to me. And she'll probably want an ROI, a release of information, so she can get information from Dr. Lamb. Okay, great. You guys have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Can I want to.
Number 13, that's the reissuance.
Oh, the reissuance, of the protection order, I'm not gonna reissue, cause I've just told Victoria she's not allowed around. And so she's gonna listen to me, otherwise she's gonna be in big trouble.
So, these are just some statements from.
Just file them here with the clerk.
Thank you.
Very good. Anything else? All right. Okay, thank you so much. And who do I got here? Talk to me, who's next? Oh, that's right. Love this case.
Do you want to get off?
Yeah? Wait.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
What number are you guys again?
Last. 14.
I'm really messing my paperwork up here. There you guys are. All right. This is a contempt. Mom wouldn't let a child visit. She eliminated the Wednesday visit. She said that the delay in filing the parenting plan was the problem, as well as she does not agree. So this is the deal. You guys are ridiculous. Okay, I know that there's problems here in this situation, and I know that he's a part of the problem. But the reality is, you don't get to take your matters into your own hands and decide to do something that you want to do when there's a parenting plan in place. I don't allow people to do self-help. It's just not done. You're saying, well, he didn't exercise these times before, so I decided not to give him to him. You don't get to make that decision. The court already made a ruling. So, the parenting plan is a parenting plan. If you can't follow it, you're in contempt. You're saying you don't think you should be in contempt because he's just been a bad dad and hasn't done all the visits he's supposed to do and all the other type of stuff. But it doesn't matter. Like, then you bring it into court and say, hey, I need to change the parenting plan because dad's not parenting. But that's not what happened. Instead, you just took it into your own hands, right?
No, Your Honor, I don't think that's true. I
Okay.
thought I was following the temporary order that you gave us, because we had a problem with Wednesdays with the time and the exchange location because of Sophia's schedule, her school schedule.
So you decided that you were going to be the one that decided to do it differently. You thought that Sophia should, because school started, you thought she should get established in school or not, whatever, before you guys did this Wednesday schedule. Isn't that what you put in your declaration?
I thought I wanted her to be able to get to bed on time.
Right, so
that
you
she could-
decided to do something different than what the court ordered because you didn't think that she'd get to bed on time because of that. So you decided what was best for Sophia. That's fine. You're her mom, but then that means you're in contempt. You understand that? Because we decided together what we were going to be doing.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I thought that I was following the temporary order because it didn't say anything about Wednesdays. I thought that we were
Okay.
doing Tuesday through Thursday every other week, and until we were set for trial, I thought that's what we were
Maybe I've got
discussed.
things wrong here. I'm going to take a look and try to figure out what's going on.
Ma'am?
Yes, sir. Matt? Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the order, the original parenting plan stipulates that I have Sophia on every other Wednesday of the weeks that I don't have her on the weekends. So that was still in effect. We had a mutual agreement that we were gonna stop the Wednesday visits because of my work schedule. In January, I started a new job, and Tuesdays and
But wait, do we have so I'm confused now. Did I put a temporary order in place? Did I have the Wednesday visits on the temporary order?
Yes.
No, Your Honor, the Wednesday visits are mentioned on the temporary order.
What does it say?
It doesn't say anything. We never talked about the Wednesday visits. We only talked about the weekend visits. The Wednesday visits were still in place because of the original order that was brought over from Oregon. The only reason why we weren't seeing each other on Wednesdays is because I asked to stop the visits
Let me
because
see
of
the
my work
temporary
schedule.
order. Will you hand it to me? I'm so sorry. I
So
can't.
now that the work schedule has changed, I asked her to reinstate the Wednesday visits, which she did. And then when the temporary order was put in place, she completely
Okay.
stopped.
Parenting days have changed from weekend to Tuesday through Thursday with father. Further parenting time to be addressed. So, this is really bad work by the judge, whoever this is. I'm not gonna hold her in contempt because gave her a piece of paper that says something that doesn't address that issue. Because what I said was, the parenting times change, I didn't add this in if that's what we meant to do. So it's my fault, I should have put it in writing, I can't hold her accountable for something that's not in writing, right? Parenting days have changed from weekend to Tuesday through Thursday with father.
But the Wednesday visits were never discussed.
I know,
They were never
well, that's
taken
the whole
off,
well,
but they were never taken off the
give me
paperwork.
all the paperwork that you have.
because we had Wednesdays on the original paperwork, and the only thing that I was
Well, sir,
addressing
but the
was
problem
every
is if
other
I do a
weekend.
new order, it gets rid of all the old orders. And I didn't put it on here, and it's my fault. Like, if you wanna do these Wednesday, what's this say? Hearing is held, motion adequate. Parties agree that adequate certificate blah, 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 is after, wait, current appearance time is alternate weekends and alternate Wednesdays, dinner next visit, holiday schedule. Temporary change, the temporary change is Tuesday to Thursday visits. All their details regarding period plan will remain the same.
So everything stays the same,
Yeah,
except for
it does
including
say
the Wednesday visits.
It does say that.
So she is in contempt.
Well, it's confusing.
It is confusing.
It is, I confused you guys, sorry. So you're gonna start the Wednesday visits back up. I know you don't like them. So let's talk about what we can do instead then.
Okay, great. I'm not opposed to Wednesday visits. I just, the time and the exchange location needs to be addressed, and I was figuring that we would do that in trial.
Well, we gotta do it now because you're just withholding Wednesday
That's fine.
visits. Okay.
I'm not withholding anything. So
Okay.
if he wants to come pick her up at school on Wednesdays, and I come to the exchange location that we have currently at 6 p.m.
That's fine.
Good, awesome. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
And I would like for you to order some counseling for me and my daughter.
I can do that.
There's things I need to address with her, with the
Yep.
counselor that have come up during,
I need another, yeah.
and I've already picked a counseling.
I just
location.
also, so I just wanna tell you, that was really, oops, I'm so sorry. That was rude. You guys did great just now. Let's start, let me give you one of my ugly ones. No good. Just try to maintain this. Like, you've come in here all angry. You did the other day too when you were still
No.
serving yourself. You're angry. And rightfully so, because you're trying to rebuild this relationship. But look, she's working with you now, right? You were mad because she hasn't been parenting.
No, that's wrong.
Okay.
I've never been angry. And
Okay, good. Well, then we're good. I'm sorry. I wanna acknowledge that
that's
you guys are
wrong.
doing well
That's
together.
completely wrong, so.
Well, I felt like you were upset because she wasn't giving you, working with you on the
No, I was
parenting
more
time.
upset with the fact that she interferes and constantly stops.
Okay,
the
fine,
business,
but you were upset.
so.
You were upset. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't say that.
All
I
right.
wouldn't say that.
Go ahead.
I was wondering if, for the Tuesday through Thursdays,
Mhm.
if he can pick her up from school as well, so that we don't have to meet.
Yeah, does that work, Dad?
No, it
And then
doesn't,
drop off.
because, well, the transportation is supposed to be shared evenly. Now, if she
Oh,
goes
yeah.
and picks Sophia up on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay, well, that's not the good reason. I'm gonna tell you what you're saying, that shared equally. If you're the pickup, if you're picking, so you're picking her up anyways, right?
Right.
So then why don't not pick her up from the school? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I
We
don't
did
have a
this-
problem picking her up from school.
That's what she just asked you
but
to
then-
do.
But then the next day, I have to take her back to school.
Right. That's what we do, and when we're trying to keep parents from
No
having any
problem.
conflict.
I have no problem
Right,
doing
it's not
that. If
about-
she doesn't want to be involved, she doesn't have to be involved.
Yeah, no, I think it's better for all of you guys, including your daughter, right? It's like, then you guys
Yes.
don't see each other, it's perfect. And then you guys are gonna, hopefully you'll start working this out, it'll be easier. But we always use the school drop off and pick up because it just, then you don't have to get in a fuss with each other. You're gonna put all that stuff on there, what did we agree? You're gonna put in there, Dad, can sign, Sophia, is that right? Her name?
Mhm.
Okay, Sophia up for counseling, but you need to work with Mom on who, like, you gotta tell her, give her information, go ahead, ma'am.
She's already in a counselor with me, so I mean, he can do that on his own time if he wants to.
So do you wanna see if you can work with the same counselor? You don't have to.
No, I don't want to
That's
work
fine,
with some.
that's fine, I don't need to hear, that's
Then
fine.
don't ask me a question.
I did, I
If don't
asked you,
wanna
you
let
said
me-
no.
If you don't want to let me speak,
You
don't
said
ask me a
no.
question.
Don't get mad, you said no, and
I'm
so
not
that's all I
getting
need you
mad,
to know.
but if you're not going to allow me to speak and to be verbal about it,
You said no,
do
I
not
wanna
ask
I'm
me
giving
a-
you what you want, that's all I said.
okay,
You gave
don't
me
ask
the-
me a question if you're not going to allow me to speak. That's all I'm saying.
I asked you a yes or no question because I wanna know, do you wanna use that one? You said no, and I said, that's fine. This
Okay.
doesn't mean not allowing you to
Okay,
speak.
okay.
I'm saying, yeah, okay.
I understand that you're in a rush and
I'm
you
not
want us
just
to
in a-
get out of here, so that's
It's
fine.
not
I
just
understand.
that, I'm just wanting to let you know, you have no obligation to use that counselor. So I was saying, no, okay, you go do your thing. I was trying to be gracious when I did that.
Okay.
So, you write
No
on there
problem.
that Dad's allowed to take Sophia to the counselor, family counseling, so that you guys can sit down and do that. You can
Can
write
I
up.
fill this out
Yeah,
there and
yeah,
hand it to the
yep,
clerk?
sounds good. Anything else?
About the times, is he gonna write that down, or do I have to fill something out? Or?
Yeah, let's do another one for that too. Just make sure that we have it all in order, sorry. What are you here for, sir?
Me, I had a court date, I thought.
Well, why didn't you come up and say something sooner?
I just thought I'd sit here the whole time and enjoy the show.
It's really? What are you here for?
My daughter was surrendered to me because her mom
Come up here.
Unable to parent. And I'm trying to stop paying child support.
Okay, you're probably in the wrong place. So do you have a cause number with you?
I don't have the case number. I set a date for September 1st with you, Miss Camilla Banfield.
Camara, it's okay.
Camara.
It's a confusing name. There's a lot of weird names in here today.
I'm also
Wilson.
present for this case.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Wilson matter. I did think you guys were on here.
I'm not on the docket.
Well, that's a different Wilson.
What's your first name, sir?
John?
And Mom, is that Mom?
Yes, hi.
Sarah, can you tell me your full name, please?
Sarah Wilson, Wilson.
Thank you. And John Wilson.
Wilson.
Thank you. John.
13179.
Thank you. Miss Farr, are you involved in this case at all?
No, Your Honor, I thought it was the math case you were
Oh.
calling, sorry.
Okay. Sarah, do you have the paperwork there in front of you?
No, I don't. I'm in a different location.
Tell me what's going on right now.
So my daughter was dropped off for my summer visit by Miss Wilson's parents. And then after she was with me for a couple weeks, her parents called me and said, oh, Sarah's been drinking. We had to remove Abigail from her household, blah, blah, blah. And so there's been all kinds of, like I said, was going to happen. There's been all kinds of traumatic experiences that my daughter has
And
gone
what were
through.
you coming here for today to ask me to do for you?
That you give me custody and that you remove. I'm tired of. I don't know why I'm sending her $400 a month. And
Oh,
I have
the
been
child support.
while the child hasn't been living with her for months and months and
Right,
months.
so is that going through the state?
Yep.
Okay. You were here and you heard that.
She left in mid-June, and she has been living with me up until school ended. I was actually working out of the area. She stayed with my parents for a couple weeks.
It's not true.
Okay,
parents
Sarah, that's
didn't
good.
call.
Sarah, that's fine. I thank you so much for giving me that information, but we all agree right now that John's the one that has the child. Is that accurate?
That's correct. And I wanted to get visitation and have time with her.
Yeah.
I'm moving back to the Vancouver area. I had to
Hey,
stop
Sarah,
my lease up.
Sarah, what's happened is, John has filed a motion, and his motion is basically, I'm gonna try to read through it really quickly. It's not, I don't necessarily think it's the right motion, but that's okay, John, we can.
I filed a few, so
Yeah.
shotgun method.
So, yeah, so what he's trying to do, this is totally not the right thing, is, to do a motion for adequate cause, saying there's been a significant change.
There's one of those in there too.
Well, it's not filed, I don't see it in here.
Okay.
Okay, so, maybe I'm just not
I
seeing it.
spoke with Miss
You know what?
Gibson
I see
Smith
it
and
now.
she gave me
I got
the
it,
lowdown.
I get it, my screen wasn't showing everything. Okay, so he filed a motion for adequate cause. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings today?
I do.
Great. So John filed this motion, and it was an appropriate motion because for whatever reason, you were taken away from the area, and that was a significant change in circumstance, right?
No, she moved up to Whidbey Island with my child, and then her sobriety disintegrated, and her parenting stopped.
Okay, so.
That is not true.
It doesn't matter. Both of you, you have not been parenting right now, have you?
Yes, she was with her father
Sarah,
for visitation.
this is a yes or no question. I'm really sorry. This isn't even on my docket, even though it should be, John, so
I
I'm
know.
sorry about that. The court has to make a determination of adequate cause or no adequate cause. Here, in this specific case, I'm saying, that.
Judge Banfield, I'd like to parent, but I can't even
I'm not
contact
talking
my
about
daughter.
whether or not you're fit. I wasn't even gonna give that part to it. Can you stop talking really quick, please? What we both know is that you used to have the child. You no longer have the child. John has the child. In the court's view, that is a significant change in circumstance. That's all I need to determine. I don't have to determine why, because you are drunk, which you're not saying you are, or because your work schedule took you away or anything. I just have to say that the way that parenting had happened before is not the way that parenting is happening now. So that's adequate cause. The court is finding adequate cause.
I can't even contact my child because I've been blocked from contacting her.
Sarah, the child's not living with you right now. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay,
that's accurate
great.
because
That's a
I'm
significant
getting
change in
older.
circumstance. So now that we have that, we found out what cause. Now we need to do a temporary parenting plan to make sure Sarah gets to spend time with her child and see her child and talk to her child. But I got to get there first. I was having a really hard time doing that. I need you guys both to sign each other's orders. So if you don't agree with each other's orders, you need to tell me. So now, Sarah, you're going to get one of these pieces of paper like that she's given for these guys.
Okay.
John, you're going to fill out a form saying child support is to seize from the date from let's just do it from today's date.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. And then you're going to file that at the court. You'll take that down to the child support office if they're the one taking your thing. So you'll fill out that paper. I'll go ahead and sign it for you. And then, and in the meantime, we don't have time to really address this. I will get you guys back on as soon as I can. And you can appear via Zoom if you'd like to, John.
That's all right. I like to appear in person.
Did you like this mess? So then, in the meantime, Sarah wants to be able to talk to the child, and she should be able to.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what day? It's
see,
fine.
the problem
It
is
doesn't matter.
Abigail doesn't want to talk to her.
I know. Well, you're gonna make. Do you saw the case?
All right,
before?
I'll tell her the judge wants you to talk to her.
No, but do you saw what happened before with the other person? That
I
was
know.
Okay, so Sarah, what days are good times for Abigail for you to call Abigail? And what time?
Will be in the Vancouver area and up for in-person visits, and that's what
don't
I
live
would
in
prefer.
Vancouver.
Where do you live?
I live in Lincoln City, Oregon.
John lives in Lincoln City.
I don't have a driver's license either.
You're my guy.
That's
I
the guy,
know.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it. I knew that attitude from somewhere. Jeez.
Judge Banfield.
Stop coming in all the way here.
No.
Sarah.
John has been driving our child around a week.
I'm not listening to any of this, Sarah. None of this is before the court. I'm trying to make sure you have time to parent your child, right?
I to have visits every other weekend with Abigail, and we used to meet halfway, and that's
Sarah,
why
There's all kinds of stuff that has happened.
We're done. I'm not going to do this right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you a special set. John, I don't want you to come all the way back here for this, but if you want to, you're fine. I'm going to get you something on because I want to address this issue. For now, Sarah, did you pick times to have Zoom or FaceTime conversations with Abigail?
I'm open to having those on the weekends.
What time would you like? You have to be very specific.
Abigail would prefer to text, and John has blocked my phone calls from her.
Her phone has been
So
shut off. I got her a new phone, and she's her whole family has the phone number to Abigail's phone. Abigail can call her anytime she
Okay,
wants.
listen, Sarah.
It's frustrating because
Sarah, I'm not going to listen to any argument here today. What I'm trying to do is just give you the time. And so what you keep doing is going into, all these things that's happening. I'm gonna make an order so that John has to allow you this time. And you're gonna keep arguing with me and giving me information that's not necessary right now. I'm an hour late for my next thing that I was supposed to be doing. So you're not getting on my good side here with this behavior. So Sarah would like to have phone calls on the weekends.
That's fine.
And so I want you to make Abigail available.
I will.
Right now we'll do Zoom or FaceTime calls so that she can see that it's who's the one that's cutting off the phone conversation or not. And you're going to leave her alone in the room. If you get done with it, when we get done here today, I want you to send Sarah your Abigail's new phone number, even though she should already have it. And make sure that the phone isn't blocked unless it's blocked by Abigail. Abigail's old enough to do that herself now. We all know that. So then you can start texting her, and then you can start rebuilding that relationship. So I'm not going to do in-person visits right now because I haven't had a chance to hear all the arguments about what's going on here. So, but I'm going to get you in my courtroom really soon because I don't think it's good if you want in-person. I mean, you were the primary parent for a significant period of time.
Only in the time that you placed her in that role.
Did you want me to jump across the desk at you right now?
No.
Okay, let's just not do that. Let's do. Great. Let's do. Nope.
Judge Banfield, Abigail wanted to block her dad when we were going through our divorce for 3 years, and I always made sure that her phone was unblocked so she could communicate to him. She also didn't want to attend visits, and as a good co-parenting, it would be helpful if John would allow me to talk to my child.
Oh, that's street law.
So is there a time on like Saturday or something, Sarah, that works for you? That would be good.
Yeah, 8
What
or 9
time?
o'clock is fine.
8 or
in the
9?
morning.
So you want to do, let's do 9 o'clock tomorrow morning then, and 9 o'clock every Saturday morning. Does that work for you?
I'd prefer twice a week.
That's fine. What other day would you like?
Wednesday.
Abigail's
Would
going to
be
be
good.
starting school on Monday, so it'll have to be after school.
I thought Monday was a holiday. From my understanding, I looked at the
Yeah,
Lincoln
Monday's a
City.
holiday.
Well, she's starting school Tuesday,
Yeah.
the 5th.
Yeah.
That's
And so you
so
can
I
talk to her.
understand why we
So,
couldn't
Sarah,
Wednesday
what's
after-
happening is John's trying to get you a regular schedule. One that happens every day, every week at the same time. Stop talking. So if you choose Monday, yes, it works this week, but it's not going to work in the weeks that follow. So that's all he's trying to designate for you. So what
I
day?
just asked when after school.
So Saturday mornings at 9, and what other day?
Wednesday after school, I was agreeing to that. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I must be having trouble hearing
That's
you
fine.
guys
So-
because
So let's.
sounds like I'm talking.
Is Wednesday at 5 o'clock p.m. all right?
Say it again.
Wednesday at 5 o'clock p.m. Wednesday at
four?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock will work. Yes.
So we'll do Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Wednesdays at 5 o'clock p.m.
Okay, you're going to get one of these pieces of paper from, and you're going to write down that, and you're going to write down that child support stops as of today's date. And then I'm going to put this on for a special set at 8:30 in the morning on September 29th.
Thank you.
All right, and then John, just leave that with the clerk. She'll bring it back to me.
And then, but I need a copy to take to child support.
Oh yeah,
And where is that office?
it's right kitty corner. So the courthouse is right here, and then it's straight directly. That is south.
Oh,
So it's
I'll
like
find
two
it, yeah.
two things south.
Is it the old welfare building there?
No, it's the one on the other side of
I'll
that,
find
the
it.
street of that. It's the one that's, they have like a yoga center or something like that in
Okay.
there.
Judge Ban, one more question.
Yeah, John, were you the petitioner or not? I don't have.
Yes, not originally, no.
Okay, so it's Sarah. Thank you. Sarah Wilson. John Wilson. And the cause number,
Is 20-3-01703-06.
May I ask another question?
Yes, ma'am.
Or do we? Okay. My question is, Judge Banfield, that you awarded me $7,000 at the end of our divorce because of John's abusive behavior during the divorce, and that's what you wrote in the information. I was wondering if we could address that on the September 29th date as well.
Sarah, if you, Sarah, if you write, stop talking. Sarah, if you want the court to address something, then you need to file a motion. That's how something gets in front of the court.
What motion do I need to file?
I don't know. I'm not your attorney. You'll just have to, if you're, I don't understand fully what you're asking anyways, and it's because it's not before the court. So you'll have to look that up.
When I talk to the attorney, it says that if there's a judgment, that the judge is the only person that can
So then you file a motion for me to do a judgment. I don't know what else.
You already awarded her a judgment for $7,000. She needs to go and get that judgment from me.
Okay, sure, okay.
I'm still paying hundreds of dollars a month for the lawyer, and it's all.
None of this.
I don't know how.
None of this stuff matters to me right now, because it's not before the court, and so I can't address it. You sign that order, John, and then.
Yes.
Is there someone in my courtroom this afternoon? I just need to leave.
Where do I sign?
Just at the very bottom,
Somewhere.
sign there, it says attorney.
Oh, okay.
we can go off the record. Bye, Sarah, thank you.